Oh, hello. This isn't the usual game we play on Monday or Tuesday. Why do I always say Monday? I should move my stream days to Monday, Wednesday, Friday. But here we are with Vampire Masquerade Curries in New York. Now, this isn't usually my stream on Tuesday. This is usually the Thursday stream. But as people would be aware if they looked at my schedule or my archives, I have finished Avowed. I don't have a game to play on Tuesday. I don't know what game to carry on playing Tuesday. And usually I'd play a round of Northgard or Hades or maybe Into the Breach or whatever roguelike I am currently interested in. But I thought, what the hell? We can carry on Curries of New York, and if we finish it, we got Shadows of New York. So it's fine. It's fine. It's cool. It's not fine. I have no idea how long this game is. Back to Gawain. I don't think we found out that we're a Bruja. It's a funny thing. We've been going through these missions. We're just gonna rest up, see if we get a new one, and carry on with whatever the game gives us. Sophie requests your presence tonight, and it seems urgent. You find her waiting for you, clearly pondering something. It takes a few minutes of awkward silence before she speaks. I require your assistance, Gawain. There is a matter of great importance that I need to ask you to resolve for me. You'll find what I'm about to say is surprising, I'm sure, but I need you to hear me out. I need you to contact an important anarch figure in NYC and arrange a meeting for us. What business do you have meeting anarchs? What business do you have meeting anarchs? They're enemies of the Camarilla, isn't that right? That is normally true. There is much bad blood between our factions, but it's not as simple as a state of constant war. You will find with this, as with many other Camarilla policies, policies have more than their share of hypocrisy inherent in them. It comes hand in hand with using medieval power structures. What we're forbidden to do, the prince may do willingly. Some of these things can be done in the open, while others are kept secret as to not invite discord or discontent. I need to contact a man named Torque. He is influential member of the movement, and like most of them, very suspicious of Camarilla. That is why I'm sending you to extend my invitation. How do I know he'll talk to me? He won't. Not yet. You need to start further down the chain, and with the right story to spin. From my limited sources adjacent to the movement, I've gathered that your best chances to speak with Torg is first to meet with his right-hand woman, Maya, regular at a club called the Leech Pit. Vampires are the most unsubtle world of darkness creatures, my god. I think it would be best if you presented yourself as an anarch. Hopeful. A fledgling looking for a place to belong. Only after you met with Torg directly should you mention my name and meeting. Lying to them won't make them trust me. I don't think that's the right approach. Lying to them won't make me trust me. When they find out the truth, they won't be happy or eager to work with us. That might be true, but if you tell Maya outright that I sent you, she'll likely cut you off. She hates our sect, and it will be difficult to make her listen to reason. After the night, I suggest we do not speak again until you arrange a meeting. There are many who would just jump at the chance for us a chance to use this against us. With Kaiser, you have proven you can get jobs done, even if it requires additional legwork. I trust you to deal with this task as quickly or covertly as possible. Forgive me, but this is all the time I can spare tonight. What I'm asking for you is a part of a bigger whole. Trust me, it will be worth it. I'll do my best. Okay, I'll do my best. It's not like we're going to betray the Camarilla and join Monarchs, but I don't even know if the game will give us the choice to betray the Camarilla. Also, when I do, like, the lean away mumble thing, I lean away from mic when I should be leaning into it. I don't know why. I know you will. Check with Gregory for the address to the Leech Pit. Have me at my introduce you to Torque, and when she does, tell him I wish to meet. Let him pick the time and place, and let it be soon. If he proves too guarded, tell him I have something that will help gather allies against the boss, Cain. That should pique his interest. Good luck, and obviously, no word about this to anyone. Not even your new friends that might have made recently in a few nights. This stays between us. The way she says the final sentence suggests a not so veiled threat, but a warm smile belies that impression. You want her to keep trusting you. You wouldn't want to disappoint her. Gregory gives you the address. The club is in Brooklyn. Apparently, it's some kind of heavy metal bar with a decadent concert space. Time to pay Maya a visit. The place is teeming with people tonight. You arrive in the middle of the concert. The music is loud, almost deafening, and it takes you a while to get used to it. You recognize a phrase or two of lyrics, and you realize you know the song they're playing. A post confirms your suspicion. It's Life of Agony's tribute band, and they're not half bad. Oh my god. I don't even know if that's a real band. Could be. Wolf is known for playing stuff at like in Imperfection, so I don't know. I'm just taking a sip of water. Pretty early. A group of half-dozen patrons are tightly packed together, and the smell of their sweat and youthful, excited blood overwhelms you momentarily. It's with some difficulty that you turn to the task at hand. You've heard your share about the anarchs and how they fit into kindred politics, but you only have the short encounter in Corona Park, on which you base your actual approach on the faction. That might have just been a horrible first impression, but you're keeping your guard up just in case. Mingle with the crowd. You walk around the club. There's a few side rooms in a spacious bar area. You listen on conversations taking place with voice hoarse from shouting, walk into particularly sloppy threesome in the bathroom, and eventually hear the dance floor for a better feel of the place. As the concert comes to an end, you witness one of the guests, a feisty-looking girl, get into a scruff with a much larger drunk guy. She doesn't seem to appreciate him reaching around her waist, slapping him with an audible crack that sends him to the ground and unconscious. So the two bouncers break up the crowd and pick up the drunk, carrying him outside without so much of questioning the woman. You get an inkling that she might be who you're hoping to find. You approach her as she's about to leave. Yeah, the fuck you want. She's still seething, but bares her teeth just for a moment, but you've learned that that's what to look for in kindred. You're pretty sure she's one of you. I'm new to being dead. I'm kind of new to this whole being dead thing. Care introduced me to the way you anarchs handle it. Seriously, that's the best line you could come up with? She doesn't smile, but she doesn't hate you either. Follow me behind the bar. She reaches around the bar. She leads you through the bar to the back room and leads you into a side room. Indie mailband posters plastered every wall, some of them 20 or more years old, judging from the tour dates. An old sticky table with some rackety chairs are the only pieces of furniture here. Sit down. Sure. Yeah, no, we got no reason to fight this. You take a seat and the woman leans onto one of the walls. My name's Mia. I'm guessing you visit here isn't a happy coincidence. I don't know you, so you're either new in New York or you kept an outstandingly low profile. Both sounds suspect. So before we take this pleasantry further, answer me this. Who do you run with? Camarilla, but I'm looking to switch. Camarilla, I guess, but I'm looking to switch. Is that so? She looks up you and up and down. It's hard to read. Sure, yeah, okay, sure, I'll bite. But let's get one thing out of the way. She leans in. If this is one of your clever ploys to out me from my domain, or if you're just here to spy on me and the movement, I'll make sure you don't enjoy undeath for much longer, got it? You can tell it's purely a rhetorical question. Right, here's the pitch. Camera likes to think that the vanilla option, that the prince bitch Panhard pretends that we were always in charge, but New York has never been a fully cami city. Oh, that's a tongue twister. They might have won in 99, but cams have their asses handed to them many times over the years, and the movement has been here at least as long as they have. Hell, I moved to New York City and NYC before World War II, and there was a good while after I saw Camarilla for what they were. A way to keep all subservients, all of us subservient and in line. The ivory tower will tell you they've already safeguarded for the traditions, and that's kind of a problem. There's only one tradition here in the movement should be respected. The Masquerade, obviously. Everything else, ask a prince and she'll tell you the logical continuation of a masquerade, but it's a way just to keep the elders powerful and in control. She grimaces. But here's the thing. For all the talk of us bloodsuckers being solitary creatures, we need communities to keep the masquerade. Community, yes, but authority, not so much. We need a council of peers to keep the assholes and power-drunk fledglings in check, but not a feudal prince to tell you where to feed or who to hunt down when you step on their toes. This is why the War of the Princes is... Sorry. I love Dark Age. I have a weird thing with Vampire. While I love the World of Darkness deeply, I love many of the different game lines. Vampire is one of the few game lines I don't play regularly. Not because I dislike Vampire inherently, I just find it really hard to come up with concepts for modern Vampire, but for Dark Age Vampire, I'm all down for that. It's really cool. I love Dark Age Vampire, and I love the War of the Princes. It's such a cool saying. She takes a brief break from her indulgent rant. Sounds too good to be true. That sounds too good to be true. Ma bares her teeth in a predatory smile. You better believe it. Sure, we still have a struggle with our urges of our kind, but it's safer and more fair, and we're free as our condition permits. But unlike the Aturakus, we don't stand alone. That is the Middle Eastern sect, if I remember correctly. The unbound vampires remain outside of large kindred society for a begin to see. Even in England's a choice, usually considered anarchs by members of Camarilla, most unbound have nothing to do with movement. Okay, that's separate. That's a term that doesn't get thrown around actually a lot. Normally a guy by the name of Kinhan has been overseeing the movement's agenda in NYC for the past few decades. Most follow his lead. Most, but not you. You make it sound like it's most, but not you. Yeah, not me. If you're concerned about being well received in the city, you might need to go through the Camarilla. But if you're serious about the Anarch's cause itself, he's not your guy. Kanan eats up fledglings like you and shits out self-preservation. He's positioned as Baron is mighty shaky right now, not least due to the fact he's backstabbed more than his fair share of allies. He's been doing what any old fight in his position of power would do. He's doubling down. Negotiations are out. Intimidation is in. Tightening ranks is precursor against the Second Inquisition. Whoops. She surprises you by hacking and spitting on the ground in disgust. If you spend some time with Cams, this should sound very familiar to you. He's no better than Panhard and her cronies at this point. No, you need to contact Torque, and you wouldn't know it. It's your lucky night, because I'm the lectured to do it for you. How is Torque different? How is Torque different from Cam? Motherfucker, you're really asking for it. Her anger flares up again. I'll pretend that was a naive question and not a half-assed jab. What meant to be a jab was meant to be a naive question, but alright. Torque is a leader, a local baron who oversees a small domain, but doing a very good job at it. Kinda knows this, so he's giving him shit. Torque is taking it like a champ. He's smart like that. For one of us rebels, he's got the patience of a saint. Makes you think about how we used to be back when, if the stories are to be believed. Anyway, Carthage, fun times. I was gonna lament about Carthage. Sorry. You wanna meet him? I'm gonna require a show of goodwill first. What do you have in mind? That's fair. What do you have in mind? She flashes you and she is hostile. I appreciate your readiness, but I don't have details just now. Ask for me at the bar when you're able. I'll leave something for you when you'll take it from here. Come on, come on now, I gotta go. She walks you out of the bar and you go your separate ways. Seems like there's nothing more to do than return to her later and see if Mia really can help you contact Torque. We're gonna do Double Spiral. You and Hope's out to destroy, Kara Montgomery's... God, Montgomery's. I'm pronouncing... Montgomery's, yeah. Kara Montgomery... God, Montgomery's company from within. Don't know why that name's so difficult for me. God damn. Hope's poorly scribbled message reaches you in your haven within an unmarked envelope. You find a barely legible address and you're supposed to reach, and you're an hour with an expected arrival there. This is it then, the night of the final showdown. You check your clock, there's way more than enough time to comfortably reach your destination, but you decide to take the drive early, just in case. The ride is uneventful, but becomes more and more tense as it goes on. The gravity of the situation is getting to you. You're about to set out an operation against a key NYC figure, all well connected with both humans and vampires elites. What if the security overwhelms you? How will the council react to your raid? You can only trust Hope has thought it through. Doesn't seem like the type who would attempt a suicide mission, which isn't something you typically say about a person who regularly inflicts violence on herself in front of a camera. When you arrive at your destination, you find yourself in front of a building with a double spiral logo on it. This must be Montgomery's headquarters then. You look around the street and notice an obnoxious lavender Mercedes car parked nearby. Even though you've never seen it before, you might as well have an idea who it belongs to. You park your own car at a distance from the double spiral building and approach the Mendez. A familiar figure is behind the wheel holding a smartphone in her hand. You knock on the window. She opens the window out, turning her eyes towards the device. Whoa, you're early. Good evening. Good evening. Yes, good evening for a glorious death. She lets out a dead silence linger in the air for a 10 seconds. Then she stops typing, diverts her eyes from the screen, gives you a melancholic stare, and winks. Psych. God damn it. Come on, what's with that face? I suffered way too much FOMO to let myself die. I've got accounts to run, notifications to check. Plus, no way in hell I'd allow Montgomery the satisfaction of a draw. We're going there to secure a flawless victory. No time to wait. Let's go. She gets out of the car, motions you to walk with her. Anywho, glad you managed to make it a sense of ugly scribbles. I forgot how exhausting it is to write stuff by hand. Still, no excuses having to deliver a message personally to someone's door. Next time, meet Langley, ask her to get you a flip phone or something, okay? She reached out in front of the building. We're about to burn this shithole to the ground. What's the plan? Hope. I don't mind if you let me on the plan this time. Oh, Gawain, baby. One would think that by now you'd know I'm a need-to-know kind of basis kind of gal. But luckily, there's not much of a plan to talk about. We've done all the hard work during your meeting with Kara. You see, our job is easy. We need to get in, destroy the servers containing all the double spiral research, and walk out. No spectacular, no dramatic showdowns. Now, I know exactly where you're going to say. But wait, Hope, if the day is so priceless, wouldn't she have external backups? Is Kara a complete dunce? Exactly. Excellent question, my neonate friend. The answer is yes, she's a dunce. But aside from her numerous negative qualities, she has a positive one. She's totally paranoid. She used a naive dumbass who wouldn't have covered up her laptop camera, but she lost trust in all external companies after a little cyber espionage incident. She's obsessed with not uploading her precious data anywhere online. Now she only has one physical backup hidden deep within her headquarters. Nobody has any idea where it might be, but I do. Normally I'd never be able to reach that place. Double Spiral is like an underground brace where all the doors are reinforced both against the living and the dead. But the answer to this problem is simple. We need Kara to lend her voice so we can override the security measures and get to the heart of the facility. What do you say, Kara? Will you help your girl out with this for old time's sake? Hope quickly writes something down on her phone. A few seconds later, a nearly perfect imitation of Kara Montgomery's voice escapes her speakers. You know it. Let's bust this bitch open. No, it's weird. Wow, the sound quality is incredible and voice sounds only the teeniest bit off. Whatever she paid for the tech, it was worth it. Oh, and if you're afraid of consequences from camera, don't be. I'm assuming full responsibility, and my ass is covered. I got some favors to collect and to offer. Besides, Kara's a goddamn snake and everybody knows it. No important player will miss her influence. They're only tolerating her in case she hits it big with her tech. That's about cash in abundance. Life's a bitch when you die. Some parts is teeny bit robotic. Could there be a pattern here? Too bad she won't get a chance to succeed. So, without further ado, shall we? Hope starts marching towards the revolving door. You close your eyes to make an effort to sharpen your senses. You follow him out caving into the lobby of a double spiral building. There's a sole security guard in the entrance. He raises his voice to speak business, but is stopped short by Hope's commanding voice. No need, we're expected. The man looks up disoriented for a moment, then the gears in his head slowly begin to turn. He nods his head, silently opening a gate to lead towards the elevators. Hope heads into one of them, and you follow. She presses a button, and the car starts heading to the lowest floor. Eventually, the door opens. Welcome to Kara Montgomery's deadly dungeon, Gawain. Why does it keep using her last name so much? I hate it. What appears before your eyes are the dimly lit corridors of an IT office, empty and silent, very stiff and dusty, and there's a sharp, rotten stench in the air that you're unable to identify. The menacing atmosphere makes it hard to recognize at first, but this looks like an active workplace. This looks like an active workplace. It is really a dungeon, though a corporate one, where people are cheated full of life. You feel a pang of anger. This is the real face of class warfare. These conditions that people in power would offer us if they didn't feel the need to keep up appearances. Let's just get the first door and test my little car out. You follow her until you reach the end of the corridor, where you encounter an expensive-looking reinforced door with voice controls on the side. Hope pushes a button. A erotic voice comes out of the speaker. Semantics. Seriously, come on. Hope types a word on the phone. Lets the virtual car repeat the password. Semantics. A sound rings out, reminiscent of cues of TV shows used to let out contestants knows he's given a wrong answer. Verification area. Please try again. Hope gives a nervous look. She bites her lip and presses the button again. Hyperreal. Tap, 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 tap. Hyperreal. Access granted. The door slowly opens. You notice your companion is wearing a sour expression. Looks like the tech isn't quite perfect. At least the password seems randomized, so we can try and brute force our way in, unless the system locks us out after a few failed attempts. She shakes her head and turns her lips to attempting a proximate of a sincere smile. Well, we can only hope that the data you've collected is enough. Let's be into the beast small we go. She marches into the room. You walk right in after her. The door locks behind you with a loud thud. It's a wide open office. It would be murky as the corridor you just left if it wasn't for rows of monitors illuminating the space. A shadowy figure stares at every one of the screens in the room. Kara's voice plays from Hope's speakers. Behold, this is where magic happens. A family-driven folks hungry for success, always tasking the bull by the horns, hoping for high-performance culture together. None of the figures raise their heads. They're too busy programming, organizing spreadsheets, and typing endless strings of text. What's wrong with them? What's wrong with these guys? Don't worry, they're likely a bunch of ghouls and whatnot. Hard-working, conditioned, tireless, low-maintenance, kind of dumb, perfect workers. Probably won't leave their seats unless we make them do it. But let's not. They got more important things to do, like destroying a few years' worth of their work. Figures don't stop pounding away in their keyboard. In fact, they don't react to her words at all. I am stealing this for a werewolf campaign. Dear God, imagine breaking into a Pentex facility and seeing this. Alright, so do we go straight to the server's room, or do you want to check out one of the side rooms first? You're cool. I'd prefer to wrap things up as fast as possible. Hey, little Kara here with us thanks to the deer you gathered. You betcha. If you think you can use her voice for something useful, feel free to do it. You look around, thinking how to respond. This door looks cute. Actually, let's try this door, sure. You approach the door with a huge sign that says staff only. Next to it, you spot familiar voice controls. Hope nods and you push a button. Vavadale. Hope taps the screen a few times and put it next to the speaker and door magically. Vavadale. Verification error, access denied. You push the button again. Vavadale. Looks like this one doesn't have a randomizer built into it. Won't do us any good, just keep trying. The capital wins once again. Let's move on, comrade. For a few seconds, you wonder if there's anything you could have done to succeed here. Then you shrug your shoulders and follow Hope into the room. I wonder if there's a weird way. I wonder what you could have done there. Another depressing corridor reeks of who knows what. You expect Hope to walk to the very end, but this time she stops halfway through the doorway and starts mumbling under her breath. Wait, was it this door? Or don't tell me she moved things around. It's the look she's had before. Not a surprise in of itself, but she gives off an impression of a person who used to know the entire layout of the building very well. But brief reflections, Hope approaches the door a few feet away and pushes the button next to it. Apocalypse. Well, that's cheery. Apocalypse. Access granted. You walk inside. At first glance, the office looks very similar to the last one you entered. Rows of screens, rows of listless silhouettes in front of them. However, Hope quickly spots a difference. Target found, moving to the data room. There's a room of endless machines at the back of the open space. Hope walks in, takes out some hardware out of the bag she's carrying, and begins the process of removing the data. Should have invested in SSDs, sis. Time to bust out my portable Digisir. She turns to you. This will take a good minute. I've got a few tricks to keep on my sleeve. If you find something that interests you, let me know. Should you wait near her or take a look around? Best stay put, yeah. I'd stay here. Who knows what might happen. Viruses, desecrated hard drives, some plain old boring vandalism. Hope you don't expect anything breathtaking to happen here. You don't, and it doesn't. You spend most of the time following 30 minutes gazing at the dead-eyed ghouls and his screen next to you. When Hope is nearly done with her digital mischief, an error message appears on the ghoul's screen. He tries to fight it for a while, but it's futile. He just slumps over, resigns. A while passes. Finally, you hear a triumphant yell, all done, baby! Looks like those boys are finally getting to take a break. You realize the constant silent rhythm of mechanical keyboards have started. The workers are all idling, slumped at their desks, completely resigned to the fact that ransom deter has disappeared. Hope hurried collects her hardware and motions you to follow her after. These are like straight up for more. Like, this is like weird. Like, I know this they say are ghouls, but this is like a Pentex facility type arenas where you just see people's souls completely destroyed. Literally. Well, it's a very Switch rule game. Alright, we're almost done here, and we just need to take care of the backups, and we can get the hell out of here from here. You take a lasting glance at the ghouls and follows her step. Yet another corridor, hardly distinguishable from the previous ones. A giant underground complex. How much money has Montgomery spent on it? Hope looks around, frowning, mumbling something indecipherable. Eventually, she points in front of her. There. This is where she must have kept the backups. It's a sturdy metal-looking door, like any other building. Right next to it, however, a voice-based security system you know pretty well by now. Please, 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 just no last-second surprises. She hesitates to do it, but eventually she pushes a button. Internal return. Hope dutifully taps it down on the phone. Eternally return. Access denied. Please try again. Hope hisses under bed. This time she pushes the button. Double spiral. Tap to tap. Double spiral. You feel this time is frozen. For whatever reason, it takes longer than usual for the speakers to deliver the verdict. Access granted. That's alright. The mail door grinds open loudly as they invite you in. This time you walk in first, and Hope follows you. ... Wait a minute. You recognize this place. This shouldn't be here. There's no two ways about it. This is Hope's haven. Same bed, same decorations, same ambience. It's all more dusty, but the backups are in the back. I'll go get them. She seems sheepish as she approaches the double spiral device and unpacks her own hardware to take care of them. Then you taking your surroundings. Care to explain? You mind explaining what's going on here? Hope sighs. What's there to explain? Just think a little. The first explanation that pops in your head will probably be the right conclusion. She looks as if she's about to add something and she bites her tongue and gets back to destroying her rival's life. She makes it obvious to you she doesn't want to re-examine her past. You rest against the bed, quietly watching Hope's technology wizardry and wondering about her past relationship with Kara for who knows how long. Every second you spend here, you become more impatient to get out. Eventually, the devices surrounding the double spiral backup starts disappearing into the bag as they were taken out of. The looks like the progress is near complete. You decide to approach the door before it does. However, before you even make a move, the door begins the grinding noise. You freeze up, watching them open. Behind them stands the very person you were afraid to appear. That's the punk t-shirt you hoped you would avoid seeing tonight. Jesus fucking Christ almighty. Hope raises her hands and their eyes meet. Both of their faces momentarily turn to stone. Oh. you pick up any you could pick up any emotion from that stairs, you'd probably be right. An unbearable tension fills the room as nobody wants to make a first move. Eventually, it's Hope who decides to break the stalemate with a loudly pressing enter button on a laptop immediately popping into the bag. You doubt it was anything more than a provocation. Malkavian letting your opponent know she won, but it works. The noise makes Montgomery snap out of her stupor. You psycho! You fucking demented vindictive psycho! The head turns thick with murderous intent. Hi! Hope pretends she hasn't noticed. Kara's bloodthirst becomes palpable. You are supposed to be on the other side of the city right now. I have a meeting. I am notified about every failed voice or authorization attempt. I got back here, expecting to find some idiots still trying to make their way through the front. She looks around, but I never expected... Just how? Hope reluctantly types something on her phone. I'm the CEO of Double Spiral, and I endorse wrecking my shit, and I endorse wrecking my shit. Oh god, that's... okay, cool. We're styling on her currently, though we're in a bad situation. Kara grimaces at the sound of her own voice and quickly connects the dots. You fucking gremlin! How did you get your hands on that kind of tech? Even I... Company secret. Hope's provoking her. No two ways about it. Kara knows this, so she's trying to keep cool. I built this paradise for you. For us. For yourself and nobody else. What happened to the Hope I used to know? She can't come to the phone right now. She's dead. I regret the day that I let you into my life. Stop lying to yourself, Kara. You only regret the day you let me out of my life. You shouldn't have let your mask slip, honey. A snappish response escapes Kara's mouth, but it manages to stop herself before letting the discussion develop into a childish spat. Just tell me there's a copy of my data you haven't ruined, and I'll let you out of here alive. She gives a hateful look, both of you. Hope tilts her head and flashes an evil ear-to-ear grin. Not a single bit of data remains. More than a decade of your work down the drain. Welcome to the worst night of life since the dot-com crash, Miss Montgomery. Kara looks as if a stake would have just driven through her heart. She starts collapsing, sliding down against the wall, like she was sneaking deeper and deeper into her personal hell. Hope just stares at her torment, wearing an indecipherable expression, waiting for her rival to reach the floor. Then she does, and then, at the lowest point in life, she finds something unexpected. I never, ever wanted to do this. This is not me. Oh no. Her voice sounds completely different. But there's only one way out of this mess. I'm going to take it. I'm going to get my data back. Hope looks confused for a second, then an understanding draws on her. Come on, Kara. You wouldn't dare. You started this game, now accept your loss. The game isn't over until all the players are out of moves, honey. Baring your fangs. Baring your fangs? You're two of us against one, even if you commit the sin of diablerie. The last time something like this happened to me, I was ready to die. I think I'll take my chances. It's not like I haven't dreamed about feeling my fangs inside you for a long, long time. So you want to give me this one victory? Prove once and all that I was right? It was never about me, about all this stupid garbage, but about all this stupid garbage in my head. Victory, please. Victories are material. They aren't like your little online arguments. She's serious about this, Gawain. She wants to devour me whole, sacrifice her humanity in exchange for accessing to my soul and everything I know. Stay away, Gawain. You want money, data, domain, privileges, a position in Double Spiral? Anything you want. You can get if you just look the other way. Don't listen to this shit. The moment the princess finds out, it's final death for... And Kara runs. Her movements resemble a beast more than a human, immediately closing the distance to Hope, and as she jumps on the Malkavian like a wild animal hunting her prey. Hope instinctively attempts to defend herself, but is immediately overwhelmed. Lying on the ground, she looks like a deer in headlights. Kara, on the other hand, looks like a bear ready to maul its victim. If you want to react, you need to do it now. Separate them as quickly as possible. You push yourself to the limit and let your powers overtake you. The world slows down, letting you run up on Kara and Hope in a blink of an eye. You immediately grab a Montgomery by the clothes and attempt to yank her aside. However, the moment she recognizes your touch, immediately attempts to swat you down. Despite your superhuman speed, she's almost as quick as you. Her limbs keep zooming wildly at your vital areas. You dodge every one of them, but you feel like you're narrowly jumping out of the way of an overcoming truck. You back away. Better to get some. Better try something different before she gets a lucky hit on you. Ooh, okay, that's a choice. We'll let our instincts overtake us. You decide to let your instincts overtake you. Before you know it, you realize you're fully at full sprint. You run up on Kara, grabbing her and start pulling away from Hope. However, you're dealing with a beast here. Choosing to trust your instincts, you underestimate hers. Before you realize what's happened, you find yourself smashed against the nearest wall. Confused and in pain, you check your torso. Some bones feel broken. You still got lucky. You should be able to move around, but this will take some time to heal. Kara is already fully focused on attack against Hope. Rushing in blindly won't help you. You need a plan. Wait, there's no point just rushing in blindly. Kara's like a feral animal right now. You don't need to wrestle with those. You just need tools to overwhelm them. You look around at Hope's bag. Any devices? No. We're way in hell. Think harder. You look at the bed with pillows, with canopy, hooks hanging down from the ceiling. Bingo. You grab one of the hooks and yank the chain as long as enough for your idea to work. You run up on Kara, who's about to maul Hope like a wild animal. Then you stab her with all your strength. The hook goes deep into her skin. Kara yells, but there's more surprise than pain in her voice. She's quickly wrapped in the chain around her a few times. Then you step back, pulling it with all your strength. I'm sad none of our plans worked and it just defaults to you need to look around calmly. Kara is taken by surprise. Still, not understanding what's going on, she loses balance and gives her victim a chance to escape. Hope still takes it. Still dazed, she takes a second to understand the situation, but then she does. She runs up to you and starts pulling the chain with you. A scream of pain. You've never handled her alone, but Hope displays surprising strength as you pull on the chain. A minute later, she's hanging above the floor like a butchered carcass. The end of her hook is in her chest. It's sinking deeper as she struggles. However, she's failing so wildly she might free herself before it puts her out of commission. Another scream. You use one hand desperately search for something that can help you under the bed. Belts, handcuffs, a whip, a giant crowd prod. You have not enough time to add bemused. You put it on her head and turn it on. Screams. The device must be modified. The power current is so powerful it's scarring almost immediately. She's getting weaker and weaker. More just rageful screams, because I don't want to shout. It takes Kara a while to accept defeat, but eventually she does. Her body seems lifeless. Hanging down, she looks like a grotesque portrait of defeat, but the hook must have reached her heart. It takes Hope a long time to collect herself. Eventually she manages to speak up. Guess we got to this point, huh? Just like Kara before, Hope starts to talk in a completely different way than usual. You have a bad feeling about this. You wanted to add my day to yours. You know, I can grant your wish, accepted in a way that you never imagined it. Hope starts murmuring and circling around Kara for the first time since you've met. She acts like she doesn't have her phone in her hand. This violent aura. Malkavian looks deeply in your eyes and she knows you know what she's attempting to do. You silently beg her not to do it, It doesn't feel right. She makes a decision. She smiles benevolently and feels purposely fake. Bye-bye, witness. I haven't harmed her. You left her here with me. You have no idea what's about to happen next. Her voice changes from what you're used to. She's not having fun. She's driven by malice. I'm disabling security, so you're free to leave. Call me whenever you need me. I'm part of your coterie now, so I'll repay my debts whenever. She gives a suspicious glare. It doesn't faze her, though. I've still got unfinished business here. She turns to Kara's lifeless body, a puppet dangling by a sad single thread. It would be smart of you to leave. Her tone makes it clear she's not willing to discuss anything. Your relationship is extremely professional. You sigh, you shrug your shoulders, and you head out the way you came. The lights of New York welcome you above ground. You see soon, Hope. Hope you don't get into trouble. You try to celebrate your new addition to your code. Of Kara's face appears before your eyes over and over again, making the victory bittersweet. This is one thing I kind of dislike about this game. V5, yeah, I know. But hey, I want to play through this vampire content. The bit I dislike so far is all the stories and so prematurely. I don't know how much you've watched of this Hand Merchant. the goal to get our gangrel friend is about fighting the Second Inquisition and her losing one of her family members. Yeah. Then she then it just ends with them dying, and she's like, "All right, I joined your coterie," and it's like nothing more. The story about discovering someone of true faith and questioning if God is real ends just after you meet the priest, and then it's like, okay, you met the priest, you ran out, and you know faith is real, but you don't really have any consequences to it. Nothing ends. I enjoy the writing until the ending. It's like, okay, cool, we got a Malkavian who's joined our coterie now, but like, we had no choices on stopping her from committing diablerie or even trying to convince her. It's just like, nope, you can't convince her not to do diablerie. It's out back onto the choosing screen. It just bothers me because it's like, cool, but like, I get visual novels, you don't have a lot of choices, but it feels like the choices you do have are slightly inconsequential in this game, even for a visual novel. And since everything just ends so abruptly, it's like, okay, cool, that doesn't matter now. Anyway. Yeah, that sucks about it. It's just like, God. Apparently Shadows of New York's better, but you can't, but Shadows of New York doesn't make sense if you don't play this, so it's like, alright, cool. I will have to read through this, then hopefully Shadows of New York has better rounded endings, I hope. Because this is, like, so abrupt. If I was in a vampire game and one of my friends just committed diablerie, that's way big of a thing. If someone in my party commits diablerie, I'm gonna be like, stare, and I was there, and I didn't stop them? That's a whole thing. That's a whole thing. You arrive at the Leech Pit, finding... I do joke. Everything based around vampires always has a pun name. Finding it less rowdy than last time. The bar is still packed, but the dance floor is empty tonight. Instead of old creaking speakers, they are playing music that would sound like noise even on the high-end hardware. Mia is nowhere to be seen, but you remember she requested that you ask for her at the bar. You approach the bar as the bartender finishes pouring a beer for an old guy in a faded, flaying Iron Maiden t-shirt. She turns to you. By the way, I'm playing the Bruja character, because didn't want to play Bruja. Toreador and Ventru didn't interest me. What can I get you? Is Mia around? Is Mia around? No, she's not tonight. She looks up and down, and a spark of recognition shines in her eyes. Oh yeah, that's right. She takes a well-worn book from behind the counter, some kind of YA vampire novel, and flips through it. She produces a piece of paper from between the book's pages and passes it to you. She told me you'd be interested in reading this. You find a relatively quiet corner and take a look at the note. T wants to meet you. I'll arrange it, but you need to prove you're trustworthy. Look around the Leech Pit for a guy named Bruce. Buff dude, tattoos, sleeves on his right arm. I'm 90% sure he's someone's retainer. Sent here to spy on us by the cam. Get the name of his master and write it down on this card, then return to the bar. Okay. It doesn't take long for you to locate the Bruce guy. He's sitting alone in the corner, two beer glasses around empty on his table. You take a moment to consider your approach. Get him drunk and talkative, ask for his master's name up front, feeding opportunity or presence. I should, but it's finding emulations for them. And the fact I don't actually know much about Hunter lore. Because with Vampire I can talk a lot about it, but Hunter lore is I don't know. Hunter is alongside Wraith as core books I haven't read. Like, I know some of the meta plot, like how originally Hunters were meant to be the Exalted, and like that's why the two of the messengers that we know the name of are called the Ebon Dragon and the Scarlet Empress, I'm pretty sure, or something else. Or like I know they changed the Scarlet to something like Scarlet something else. So Scarlet Queen, Scarlet Emperor, something like that. And like I'm aware of that meta plot because I'm a huge fan of Exalted as well. But I've just never read it. V5 ruined Hunter so much, man. Like Second Position is so dumb. I mean, I've read Hunter Reckoning 5th edition since they made a 5th edition of it. The Second Inquisition aren't imbued. That's important. They got rid of imbued generally, which is sad, but makes sense. Considering Hunter always felt a bit weird at that. My fan theory, I've mentioned it before, is the Second Inquisition is actually a branch of the technocracy, or a project by the technocracy. Because it seems like a measure they would take after the Week of Nightmares. Because if vampires are that big of an issue that they couldn't cause a world-ending threat, why just not get rid of them? But hand it off to, like, governments to do it? That's always my theory, but, you know. We'll just use presents, because screw it. Why not? The man immediately notices you, but doesn't move from his spot. The other seats are empty. Yeah, that would need good writing. It would require two things. A weird state of saying that the technocracy is all-powerful, because the newer books, like Technocracy Reloaded, since the Battle of Mages, the technocracy is no longer... While they put up a front of all power, they're realizing the traditions are making ground in the Ascension War, so they're like, alright, we need to, like, fight back harder, because they're making some ground. But also them realizing that vampires are a threat enough after a Week of Nightmares, because Project Ragnarok is a huge thing, so they should have realized, wait a second, if this world-ending vampire is a threat, and we had to waste so much money and human life on this, we should probably think of a contingency for vampires. But that's how I would write it. Plus, like, the Second Inquisition has weirdly advanced technology. Like, weirdly advanced. And that's just how I would write away. I guess that legitimately is just a wizard that did it. But at least there's something to it. When you focus on your blood to boost your attractiveness, it's not just Bruce who notices. He's into you. So have other people doing double takes as they pass your table. Yeah, always a great pal. Hey, have I seen you before? Hacking Shreknet was really badly written. Mages could save the plot, yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Like, Shreknet is like, yeah, no, it implies the Dosraru wasn't keeping up to date, which is dumb. But also, like, if Irrigation X or like a New World Order or even Virtual Adepts did it, then yeah, that'd be cool. I wonder if they'll keep the weird names they gave them in 20th edition. Like, was it Mercurial Elite? I know it's mentioned in Revised, but like, Virtual Adepts is so much better than Mercurial Elite. Possibly I'm a regular. It's possible I'm a regular at this joint. Oh, are you? That's weird. This place is kind of a dump. Ask him about his name directly and intimidate. Ask him about the name nicely. I know you're here because someone asked you to spy on this place. It'd be really nice of help if you give me their name. What? Do you mean Sam? He catches himself, realizing what you're doing. His eyes dart over your shoulder. You thought you had him cornered, but suddenly he leaps over the table in one small movement and dashes through the sparse crowd. You catch up with him outside. He's bolted, alright. The reason I'm, like, tempted not to use celerity is because I don't know, like, are there people around? I'm not going to use celerity if there are people around, because I'm not breaking the Masquerade. We're just going to give chase. You dash after him, relying solely on your muscles and general fitness. Bruce doesn't seem to care much about the Masquerade. The speed he's going at would give Usain Bolt a run for his money. You caught up to catch up in this time. He takes a sharp turn in a side alley, but by the time you reach it, he's already gone. One thing I'm interested in, because I don't know when they'll do it, because they did Hunter Reckoning 5th edition, which was more just the Hunt of a Vigil 3rd edition at this point, like, legitimately. I wish they kept them viewed, because at least you wouldn't have two books coming right after each other with the same premise. I just ordered the Book of Nod. I'm excited. Oh, yeah, no. I haven't read the Book of Nod. I need to, because my vampire lore is, like, in that area is pretty poor. I've read Days of Fire, because I'm a big Demon of Fallen fan, and I hate myself every day, because that system is just, Demon of Fallen, god, that system's really bad. I love it. I love Demon of Fallen, but dealing with its system is kind of a pain at times. I do like it's just vampire in reverse. Like, Torment is literally just reverse humanity. But Day of the Fire is pretty good as well. I I've read the first book of I've read like half a book of the first trilogy. I wouldn't recommend it personally, but it does have some interesting things in it. I would say that. It felt a bit too muddled for like my personal taste in writing, switching perspectives like almost every chapter. But give it a shot yourself. Also, I might try rereading it. You know, it's always good to try and reread things you dislike, in my opinion. If you want to give it a shot. Time to leave something for Mia. You borrow a pen for the bar and flip Mia on the stone. Sam. That's all you got. It's not much, but could be a full name or a fragment, female, male. Well, it's something. There's not that many vampires in New York. You can narrow it down from Sam. Trust me. But there's not that many vampires in general, I should say. You could pull a name out of your ass or let Mia figure it out. We're gonna leave this. We're gonna leave the name fragment. Yeah, no, it's good fun. I need to finish the Changeling trilogy because I really like the first book. That first book's really good. But they added a fourth book for Changeling 20th edition, and I'm a bit worried about that one because apparently it was original trilogy, then adding a fourth book, and I'm like, oh no, what if they wrote a story with it? But Mia asks you for a name, but that's all you. But if all you have is fragment, it'll have to do. You jot down on a note. Bruce references master as Sam. You pass the print of a piece of paper to the bartender. She sticks it in the back of the same book. Hold on a sec. She wants me to pass you something on to you. She produces a cell phone behind the camera. It's ancient. It'll at least 15 years behind out of date. Oh right, and this. No, it's called the Toy Box. It's called the Immortal Eye Trilogy. It's the Toy Box. God, it's the Toy Box. I forget what the other two are called. I know one of them is. Yeah, right. Fun fact about that novel trilogy is they got adventure supplements in Changeling We're Dreaming. Like you can play through the story that there's like of the novels. They got supplements after them, which I think is neat. It's a cool tie-in for a tabletop. I've never ran them. Because, like, one, it would spoil me reading the books, the novels. But, like, it's a cool little detail. An old charger for a piece of junk in your hand. They really did think of everything. She said she'll be in touch. It takes a moment for you to remind yourself of how to operate this thing. And you find that your phone book is blank. There's no Wi-Fi connective and no saved message. It's got a version of Snake, though. Ooh, we're living a high life of vampirism. The bartender is already at the end of her domain, taking orders from patrons. With your Anarch contacts nowhere in sight, you decide to move on for the night. Hopefully, your educated guess is based on the scraps of info you collected will be enough for Mia to call you. I do hope. Also, a good demon thing is the short story collection called Lucifer's Shadow. That one's pretty good. The first story is pretty good. Okay, so who do we go see? Do we try and get a Tremere on our side? Do a side quest about a nosy reporter, which our Toreador should deal with? Or go talk to a Nosferatu who's a bit of a detective for the sheriff? Yeah, no, I enjoy Lucifer's Shadow. I've read a bit of it. I kind of want to do the Tremere one because I'm a fan of Clan Tremere. Would it make sense for a Brujah and Clan Tremere to be buddying around in any setting? No. But, like... Clan Tremere is pretty cool. Yeah, let's start with Clan Tremere, sure. I want to see what this is. I don't think I believe I do. Like, some of this content is new. Like, we're way past the content which I've played in this game because I used to try and like stream. I used to want to play through it with me and my friends doing voices because we all like wild artists. But I decided not to do that. Okay, so what they did was they changed that weakness, which isn't new for Tremere, but they changed it to they no longer have blood bond, so the pyramid collapsed. So it's basically, I view as a like metagame reason it's so you can play Tremere in an Anarchs game, but like the mobile houses is there's a house for the Anarchs and the Camarilla. They call themselves different names. Can't remember off the top of my head. As I said, I don't play V5, so I'm not like entirely remembering on that front for that. But basically the the pyramid broke. Which I thought would lead to a cool revival of the Salubrians, the true 13th clan, but nah, they just got side content in the player's guide, which, God, they really butchered the Salubri. I hate what they did. I know they were a side clan, but dear God, that book only cared about the Tremere and no one else. No, not the Tremere. The Zamisi and nobody else. That book annoys me so much. I don't know. They never really get reason for them. Even in, like, the actual canon, like, live play, they have the couriers a whole mission about getting some Tremere out of the Camarilla territory safely, which is a cool mission. There's it's a cool session, but like they never really say why the Tremere, from what I remember, why they are leaving, why they would suddenly leave. Like, of course, I would buy if the pyramid suddenly broke. Some would leave to the Anarchs because the Tremere aren't like great. There's abusive Tremere, but like I would imagine it's more like 10% of Tremere would join the Anarchs, not like a whole exorcist kind of thing. That's how I would like view it. And by the way, I'm not in this vampire game, but just saying stories I've heard. One of my friends are in a vampire game. They have a Tremere with them, and basically what happened is apparently they started talking back to the region to a point the region took away their blood magic, which I'm like, ooh. Don't end up in situations like that, anyway. Don't be a good system point of them. Even if they are to defend them, they will collapse one day. That's what they do. I mean, I always think that Vanox have always been weird and safe for me, because again, I played 20th, where they more and was introduced through bloodlines. But Vanox more come across as a complementary faction to the main Camarilla. Where this whole war thing is like, it feels like straight, like, well, the Camarilla's never, well, the Anarchs have never lied to the Camarilla. Whenever I run a game, there's always, like, a part of the sea which is Anarch-based, because it has some politics. Do I like playing Anarch characters? Yeah, personally, I like playing punk characters, so that's just me, personally. I do not know how the lore they were Nazis, so it doesn't surprise me. Poor Get. Sorry, just saying that reminds me of Forget. Poor Get. Though, to be fair, putting blood purity as a stat in your backgrounds invited comparisons. Pure blood, cool background, but a bit iffy when you have Forget there. Let's just do the trivia. You're right that the address given to you by Sophie, a small bookstore smack dab in the middle of Brooklyn Way of all places. That really catches you off guard, though. It is the store's display. From what you've heard about the Tremere, they're infamous for their ties to the occult and mystical. And yet, now, looking at the oddball collection of items on display window, it feels like borderline satirical. The books here are covered anything from... Okay, sure, my dyslexic brain can pronounce that. Orvictic practices and homeopathy, as well as wellness and self-motivation. The vague, amusing juxtaposition doesn't end there either. You notice a copy of God, I know his name. God damn it. What? Yes. Antoinette's Satanic Bible tucked behind a cheap, smiling Buddha. A scientific journal on the hematology sits next to a teen-oriented pamphlet on blood-type personality theory. A number of religious, quasi-religious symbols, lockets, pins, and various emblem paraphernalia are haphazardly strewn across the displays and are between the tomes. Before you even open the door, you can smell the burning incense and hear the corny, Far East-tinged music sleeping through the creakless speakers mounted on the entrance. This is how you get every major MC annoyed at you. I'm not doing voice acting. I can't do voice acting. Yeah, they don't have voice acting in this. No, most visual novels don't have voice acting, but then again, the visual novels I'm familiar with are more like anime stuff. Obviously, I have a Vtuber, where it's either they have voice acting, but it's in Japanese, or no voice acting at all. So I'm used to reading a lot for this. I've got like a glass of water next to me, so my throat doesn't get absolutely torn up for speaking for 3 hours. And then again, I've done the Shadowrun trilogy. That was a lot of reading. Oh my god, those games have a lot of writing in it. It's good writing. It's really good writing, but dear god. It's much more quaint than you expect from what Sophie told you about the so-called warlocks. It doesn't look like they have an interested impression in outsiders. Then again, if anything you've learned these past few nights, it's that appearances can be deceiving. God, this is reminding me of the only time I've played a V5 game. Was in university, and it was someone who was new to Vampire Masquerade, so they got bought V5 and stuff. And this is reminding me of the Tremere character they had in that campaign. At this time of night, the shop appears to be closed, regardless of your viewing the bell. You hear some shuffling around inside. A brief moment later, the latch slides and the door is pushed open a few inches. A tired-looking blonde in loose clothing appears through a crack. She seems confused, just like you woke her up. She lets out a yawn, scratches at her tattooed neck. Finally, she squints in your general direction. Her pursed lip curves in an awkward smile. Is Agathon in? He better chose that name for himself. Yeah, nah, it is fair. Like, I don't blame people for getting into it, but like, he had a like hippie Tremere hairdresser, which is me just saying like, oh, and some older lore. I have no idea which book this is in. Could just be homebrew for like my group users. Is Tremere have some blood magic which can change vampires' hair length? Because vampires obviously are static, so if you cut their hair, they wake up with it back. I don't know if that's canonically anywhere in the book, but my group's always run with some Tremere can do that with blood magic. But, it's one of the reasons they're valuable. Which was cool. But I was playing Bar Hakim or Asmite, so I hated him. My character hated him. I'm looking for a guy named Agathon. Is he around? The girl gives you a suspicious look over, but opens the door. She takes a few steps. Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't mind. Like, again, my opinions on V5, I don't play it. Some weird ideas, some things I'm like, okay, kind of cool, but generally not gonna play it. The girl gives you a suspicious look, but opens the door. She takes a few steps back, and you hear footsteps coming from behind a floral curtain covered in back door. To be fair, that's better than what I'd say about, what is it, the Hunter Reckoning 5th edition, where I'm like, I'm just gonna play, what is it, Hunter the Vigil. Just gonna play Hunter the Vigil. I don't need to play the weird version of Hunter the Vigil. The bespecked, smart-looking woman emerges and looks straight at you. Oh yeah, that is it. One thing I think, like, especially in the just saying the V5 book, they should have stayed everything in black and white. I know they used a lot of photos, but if you look at like other books like Unhallowed Metropolis, with that uses LARPing costumes as well for photos, but it's all in black and white and it keeps the tone so much better. Come in, follow me. Just don't touch anything, please. You follow her through the store. Inside, as expected, the stuffy air smells of sandalwood, frankincense, and a dozen other aromas. The woman leads you behind the curtain through the back door onto a rickety staircase. A flight of steps. She looks... Yeah, no, that is true. Might be a reference. There's a reference to, like, I know there's a character with a design which is referencing, like, a vampire from the Fate series in this game. Which is a little cool, but, like... Alright, cool, man. A flight of steps takes you up the second story. You instantly notice the change in decor, as the tacky New Age bookstore gives way to something resembling a cross between a library and a workshop. All those background points. The smell here is strong, too, but much more layered. You're not sure what to make of it, but with each whiff, it becomes apparent. Blood. The aroma through subtlety at first soon becomes overpowering. It takes you a moment to adapt and focus. I don't think you know who you are speaking with, so an introduction is in order. My name is Alicing Sturbridge, and I am the High Regent of this chantry of the 5 boroughs. You are Gawain, correct? I have to say, you're lucky the ward outside the building is only there for notifications tonight. Otherwise, it would have been quite unpleasant. I think Engine of Shadows in New York, I think it's Saturates of Shadows New York, but I'm not sure. Really is the only reason I wiped. Yeah, no, she is. She is in that, and it's one of the reasons I want to play Shadows in New York, but I know Shadows in New York needs context from this, so I'm playing this. And hey, I just streamed, so it gives me a good reason to sit down and talk for 3 hours. To answer your question, Avalon is here, but he's hard at work, and I wouldn't want to disrupt him. And I understand this is a social visit. Do I mock the Tremere for hiding above an occult bookstore? Or am I more confused on how they know my name? Really, I can mock the Tremere for hiding above a cult store, but I can't mock the Anarchs for hiding in a place called the Leech's Den. Come on, vampires. Vampires was choosing the most on-the-brand name. Do it. Hiding in a bookstore, really? Sorry, I can't just get over the fact that you're using this place as a front. I mean, an occult bookstore. Talk about keeping a low profile. I realize you're new to this whole thing, so I'll take that as useful ignorance and not some misguided attempt at sarcasm. The darkest place is under the candlestick. You see the display. Tell me it's not the last place you'd look for actual mystics. Now, not that I don't enjoy schooling clueless neonates, but may I ask why you're here, what you're here for? I was expected to find Agathon here. Sophie mentioned Agathon to me. I was so mean to the gangrel. She kicked me out and I never finished her quest. I was replaying it. Yeah, fair enough. I was kind of like as Bruja. I was like, she was the first one I did, and I was like, I'm a Bruja. I want to, like, have, like, the Gangrel Bruja, like, friendship going on there, you know? It did make me realize, next vampire game, I'm probably going to play a Gangrel, because there's one clan I haven't played, and I kind of want to play it, but I've ended up playing a demon in the game anyway, so, you know. Sophie mentioned me to Agathon. Sophie mentioned Agathon to me. We're going to use our sire's name, because... she has more weight than we do. Sophie suggested I meet Agathon here. She said he's quite knowledgeable. Did she now? Alicing looks, please tell me it's a shadow name. I can't take if his actual name is Agathon and not a shadow name, dear God. Looks you up and down. Her countenance seems unchanged, but you can tell she's judging you for what you said. That's new. Suddenly, a man enters the side room. He doesn't even look at you. He's lost in his own thought. I have it, Alicing. I think I know how to find it. He catches himself as he notices you. His face turns sour. A visitor? Yes, we're discussing you, in fact. Is that so? Let me introduce myself. I'm Gawain. I've been told you might be interested in teaming up. Teaming up. She seems very confused by the notion. What for? For company? What else? Yeah, for company. For what? For company. What else? Or do you only hang out with dusty furniture? Agathon raises an eyebrow and gives you a long stare. He then turns to Alicing. Hi, Regent. I believe we have something to talk about in private. Something akin to sarcasm appears on the woman's lips. Just a minute, Agathon. I know this fledgling is utterly hopeless at making a good first impression, but I think you should give them a chance to prove their worth. Just one chance. Tonight. Why don't you start by giving our intern here a brief explanation of what it is that you're after? Agathon gives Alicing a hasty look, but the woman nods approvingly. Encouraged, he turns towards you. A member of our clan has disappeared without a trace a handful of nights ago. While the High Regent investigation is if any foul play was involved, I have been tasked with recovering her research notes. If there's anything left to recover, that is. I may have an idea of where to start looking, and that is supposed to be where I come in. If you truly wish to help, I could use your assistance tonight. Right now, in fact. Given the time we've just wasted on idle chatter, I should leave immediately. What's the research about? What's this research? Yeah, at least the Shadows of Fallen Angels is nowhere. You can buy it on drive-thru. You should be able to buy it on drive-thru. Let me see if I... Let me see if I can get the link. I'm not... Drive-through books should have it. Let me look for you. Is it drive-through books or drive-through novels? I know, never mind. Drive-through loose. I can get you digitally as a PDF. Which is not great, but it's like if you want to read it, sometimes it's anyway. Lucifer's Shadow. Let me see. Lucifer's Shadow, drive-through RPG. My finger. I also live in Europe as well, so. Or technically not anymore. Thanks, England. I'm not gonna get into that because that's not appropriate. Yeah, no. It's to be fair, for PDF, it's less than $1, which is less than £1. I'll just drop it in chat anyway. Let me do that. Where's... God damn it! I copied the link on the wrong device. I am very organized. I should just log into my Twitch on that thing, but I'm not. Come on. Well, drive-through RPG. Yeah, no, true. But I mean, I'm just saying, if you want to support it, it's probably pretty cheap. A lot of books are pretty cheap. Instead of the Exalted series, sorry. I've bought a lot of White Wolf books, and the Exalted series is like the Exalted novels. Strangely pricey. I'm talking about like the second edition Exalted novels, which I like, which are pretty good. I like which basically follow the iconic cast characters, which is pretty neat. Okay, so let me copy. Cool. There's Twitch. Can I get into my own chat? I should be able to. I'm very organized and know exactly what I'm doing for my thing. There you go. There it is. Really. Okay, so Exalted is... Okay, so Exalted is basically that is a big setting inspired by Asian fantasy. You're cool chosen of powerful gods. And I'm just gonna alt tab. Actually, no, I can't. Let me just... Actually, I gotta know what to do. But it's basically you're empowered by gods, the gods of the sun, the god of the moon, the goddesses of fate, or just the earth itself, and you have immense power. Like, there are moves called perfects where you can perfectly hit someone with an attack and they can't dodge or defend against it, stuff like that. And you have, like, when you start using your powers, you start to glow with like a Super Saiyan aura kind of thing, which can manifest into different shapes and a lot of things. It ranges from, well, I talk about combat because that's the most flashy. It ranges from you can be a one-man army, you can take down an army of horrid monsters, to you are the best bureaucrat in existence, and you, by stepping foot into the room of politics and bureaucracy, you can revolutionize a system to work more efficiently. But originally, it was originally meant to be the giant prequel to the World of Darkness, as like this ancient world of heroes and fantasy. But that was cut. The only remembrances of it, yeah, it barely connected to World of Darkness. It was cut, but you can still see it in things like the Wheel. If you look at Eastern World of Fantasy with like the Wheel of Ages, because like to the I think the saying is called the Exalted saying is also called the Age of Sorrow, or the Second Age, and Hunter is specifically the imbued are specifically were designed to be lesser forms of Solars, which are the big glowing sun boys, and stuff like that. Those are like the main connections. Oops. Okay. Whoops. Can I? Cool. I can't put the link in. That's so annoying. Oh, never mind. That's really annoying. I should be able to. Sorry, I'm just trying to figure this out because, you know, I want to send it, but, like, I can't. I'm trying to send it on my phone, so it's a bit more difficult. Okay, cool, I did it. There, here you go. Finally. Okay, cool. Here you go. There you go. There you go for Lucifer's Shadow. Anyway, the research sounds pretty important. What's it about? Like, it's meant to be way more over the top. No problem. Exalted is way more over the top. You literally are a glowing person of great epic strength. But it's balanced by the fact that, like, the dynasty, which currently rules creation, wants to kill you because they believe you are actually demons and not, like, ancient heroic warriors from the Golden Age. A single glance at Alice is enough. You can tell you're not getting answers, at least for now. It's important to us. That's all you need to know. These people aren't in the habit of making things simple. Facing layers upon layers of secrecy. You can only hope that what lies beneath is the real deal. I'm heading out. Are you coming or not? Sure, I'll join. Sure, I'll join. Very well. He gives Alicing a slight bow. High Regent, with your permission? She nods. Before you go, however, Gawain, defer to Argoth in all things. Our clan values obedience above everything else. Pride you can follow, and this might turn into a mutually beneficial relationship. I'll await his return and his reports. Good luck, my child. Agathor bows his head and urges you to follow. The High Regent watches you as you leave. Outside, Agathor leads you to his car. It's almost funny to seeing him get behind a wheel. Somehow you'd expect more mystical means of transport. You drive south, heading to the lower east side. Agathon seems lost in thought. Either that, or he's very carefully driving. Either way, several minutes pass in silence. Also, one cool thing, just about, that I know about the Exalted, is the martial arts system was directly inspired, at least in 2nd edition, which is the edition I play of it, just clear, because there's 3 different editions and they're all drastically different. Which I kind of like. Your opinions on, if you ever get into it, the Lunas are drastically different between every edition. And they're the chosen of the moon, and their whole thing is they're meant to survive things. Jade Empire is directly mentioned in the influence section of the book for martial arts, and there's like, hey, if you want to look at martial arts, this is what you should do, and that is how I discovered Jade Empire. You drive south, heading to the Lower East Side. Yeah, they are really cheap. Yeah, no. I just said my opinion on them. You drive south, heading towards the Lower East Side. Agathor seems lost in thought. Either that or is very carefully driving. Either way, several minutes pass in silence. So, the High Regent is your sire? So, the High Regent is your sire. Did I get that right? Yes. He seems to be thinking of the right words before he decided to address you again. Let me ask you something. Why me? There's a couple hundred kindred in New York, yet you seek me out, specifically. Why? You sounded interesting, gonna be honest. I've been told a few younger vampires should meet. You sounded like an interesting guy. Interesting, I see. Once again, he growls silently. You're unsure whether to continue prying as your driver seems disappeared in his thoughts. Drove into Williamsburg and stopped by a fancy-looking building. We're here. There's a restaurant on the top floor. Yes, I did. I did a whole Werewolf Earth's Blood, right? I did a whole stream of that. Did a whole they are on my archive. I had to play that game twice because the first time I played it with my general gaming group. I've mentioned them before. I streamed it to them privately, and it was a fun time because we've all played Werewolf. I GM for Werewolf a lot. It was a fun time because we got to mock it and make fun of it. The second time through, that game is a slog at times. I cannot lie. You're here. I need you to get out inside. I need you to get us inside the VIP lobby. Once we're in, I need about half an hour of focus and some space. It'll be up to you to keep attention away from the room. Can you do that? He doesn't wait for an answer. He points to the front door. Go ahead. I'm right behind you. The two of you take the elevator up to the restaurant. The door opens, you see there are only a few guests left. Staring at the tables, an important-looking staff member approaches you. Good evening. I'm very sorry, but the restaurant is closed for the night. I can make reservations for this week if you wish. I'm a special client. No thanks. No, I think we can get in now. We're a special client if you know what I mean. I don't think I do. Apologies, but this is company policy. No exceptions. But would you like to make a reservation? Present time. It's fine, we can come in. Hey, it's all good. We can come in. We'll be in the VIP lobby. No. We're playing as a Bruja. I would be very surprised. Oh god, we're getting hungry. I've just noticed the blood stains. I'd be very surprised if a V5 game, which was very popularly marketed, would throw the curveball that we're playing a true Bruja. Would I respect that decision? Kind of. But would it be a good writing decision? I have no idea. Hey, it's all good. We can come in. We'll be in the VIP lobby. It won't take long. The man blinks, confused appearance appearing on his face. Yes, of course. Not a problem. Please come right in. You walk in, trying to look casually and make your way towards the VIP lobby. You step inside and close the door behind you. I have always been trying to play one, but again, I think I'll play Gangrel next time I play Vampire. It's a nice place. Very highbrow. Lots of old, expensive-looking furniture and private rooms to discuss any sordid business one discusses when you're that rich. The companion looks at you with something akin to admiration, or at least that's how you chose to interpret the slight change in his usual somber facade. Not bad at all. Also, one of the weird things so far with the writing of this is my character doesn't know they're a Bruja. I have not triggered my weakness, so other people can realize I'm a Bruja. No one's done a blood test on me. That's why I kind of went with Tremere to see if they would do a blood test on you as you're, like, basically clanless. Because no one knows what clan you are. Because I know you can find out you're a Ventru through the Ventru's curse. And I know that you can find out that you're a Torador from Sophie, because you both suffer from the same weakness. But no one's mentioned that I'm the Bruja, and I'm like, really? No one... did you also have a blood quest? Well, I don't remember that one. I may have done it, but I can't remember that, if which one that is. He inspects, it's usually cold, and Agfin soon discovers why, looking behind the curtains, a window hangs open. The handle and lock looks like they've dissolved as with acid. God damn it, Juno. Looks like she's gone. Whoever Juno is, it looks like she's no longer here. A flash of fury sparks in his eyes. Yeah, no kidding. Oh yeah, no, yeah, I've done that. When I played this with my friends streaming, that only happens if you're Ventru. That only happens if you're Ventru. I think that only happens if you're Ventru. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that, like, you suffer from Ventru's curse. I never played with Ventru long enough to find out what their blood type is. But hey. He takes a frantic look around the room. This changes things. Keep an eye on the door. I'll need some time. Half an hour at the very least. Nobody disturbs me, understood? He hesitantly pushes the couch and some potted plants out of the way, moves some bar stools and looks out of a curved knife, cutting his own arm and lets the blood drip onto the wooden floor. One thing I will say about the melted window, that's actually a thing you get with blood sorcery in V5, so at least they're keeping to the source material for disciplines. I'll say that. It's pretty fucked up, the way his flesh oozes with deep red, thick vitae. In life, you would have found his stomach churning, but right now, you feel weirdly turned on by the sight. Okay, White Wolf. What follows is more disturbing yet. On one hand, he sheaths the knife and seals the wound. With the other, he smears the blood around him while muttering some weird chant. It sounds vaguely Latin, but you're pretty sure it isn't. It's all more than a little disconcerting, but it seems to know what he's doing. A few moments later, the circle starts glowing faintly as thin wisps of smoke surround Agathon. No idea. They don't mention them. They just don't mention them. It's a joke in Hunt of the Parenting if you watch that, they're not real, but the Kwaijin or Wankwei are just not mentioned. They're just not mentioned, so whether you take that as not making canon or like just not God, what's the word? I am a professional writer and I don't know how to say words. But yeah, they're just not in it. He sits down in the middle of his legs crossed, eyes closed, minutes pass. Agathon's face twitches from time to time, but his head turns every now and then, as if he was looking for something around or on a conversation. Smoke grows thicker, forming a veil around the mage. You expect something more flashy, but it's still a sight to behold. You wonder what the point of it is you wonder what the point of it is, but refraining from asking, it's probably best to let Agathon do his thing. For close to 30 minutes, you left your own devices, and suddenly the door opens slight and a manager leans into the room. You tense up for a second, but he just gives you an awkward smile. Anything you need. Should you show him away before you can take a closer look at your companion, and he retreats up repeatedly. 2 minutes later, Agathon casually God, that was a feeding opportunity. We could have fed, but no one. And walks over to your sofa. He pushes his hands between the cracks of our upholstery and fishes out something. No, they're not racist for that reason. I can explain the reason why they are. They're not based in any single mythology, and Kwai-Jin makes no grammatical sense. It's not a word. This is explained in the book, I'm fully aware, but Kwai-Jin aren't a real thing, and the name being a mix of Chinese and Japanese makes no sense. Also, they use stereotypes a lot in that book. But, do I believe they could be cool? I do like them. I'm just pointing out, like, they do have those stuff to it. He pushes his hand between the cracks. It is better than first editions with the Genki, whatever the hell they were. I'll say that though. Opening pools to hell, that makes sense. Sorry, the Genki powers are weird. It's always been weird fascination of mine of what the Genki were. He pushes his hands in between the cracks of the upholstery. He fishes out something, and he turns to you and nods. We're done here, let's go. You make your way back to the elevator, passing the manager on the way. He gives you a slight, somewhat confused smile, but neither him or any of the staff get in your way. Despite that, the elevator ride down feels tense, and the two of you relax inside Alfred's car. He starts fading, taking a right out of the Constantine Army Plaza, back onto a bridge. Oh yeah, that book. Oh. God, yeah, that book. So I've used that book. If one player wanted to use something from that book, I allowed them. But also, it didn't go well. Oh, I hate it. Oh god, no, Could be sensitive. I do like appreciations of other cultures, but dear god, I've always said, White Wolf always tries to be inclusive, but they will always fall flat on their face while doing it. Like, dear god. You're about to say something, then he beats you to it. That went better than I expected, all things considered. Yeah, presence is a really good power. It might have been a trick of the light, but you're pretty sure you just saw a smile. I'm used to working alone, but what I'm dealing with right now, it might require more assistance, and you seem capable enough. Thanks, I guess. Gee, thanks. I take it, thanks. I take it it's your way of showing me with praise. You could swear you just made him smirk. You did fine. Once you impress me, I'll be sure to let you know. It doesn't take you long to reach the Warlock's hideout. Agathon waves you. Well, no. I think it's good to be inclusive, especially because White Wolf always has tried to be. Throughout all the editions, they've tried to include, people of different cultures and different that. They just are really bad at it. I don't blame the earlier books too much because like computers weren't big. They probably couldn't get writers from those cultures and stuff like that, or any of that stuff. The research is hard. I understand that firsthand. But later on, I'm like, instead of just deleting them from the universe, why not get writers from this? Like, Werewolf is the most obvious one because you're literally people from around different cultures of all the globe fighting to protect it. It's Captain Planet, but literal murderous giant werewolves. But it does have some issues. And I think it's okay to point out those issues as criticism. Like, one of the best books I think points this out, which is Dead Magic, which has a bunch of criticism. I care about it because I think Asian myth. I think the Kwaijin are cool. I don't care what you want to call them. Are cool. They are neat. They are cool. They are again. The Wan Kuei or the Kwaijin also play into Exalted laws. They are hinted to heavily be former like damned Exalted kind of weirdness. Doesn't make much sense in Exalted's lore. Doesn't make so much sense in World of Darkness's lore. It's just that they have some cool aspects to them. I won't lie. I just hate the term Kwaijin because how they pass it off. I hate that writing. It's so frustrating because they clearly saw that it makes no sense in either Chinese or Japanese, and the meaning is mute anyway. But they just went with it, and it frustrates me because it's like going onto Google Translate and typing something in something in Japanese and then saying this is my authentic Japanese name. It frustrates me so much. It's that tier of naming OCs. Like the name, like that's the reason Kwaijin. Like I love Kwaijin in all aspects. Other than that, okay. So Kwaijin are in both countries. It specifically says they have different names. But the reason they're called Kwaijin in lore is I forget which ones because Kwai and Jin are two separate words. One is from Chinese and one is from Japanese. They put them together. It is stated the reason they did this in lore was to give them a unifying identity after World War II. And I'm like, oh, that's a heavy topic. I get what you're trying to do, but oh god, I just don't think it works. I just don't think it works. Another word probably would have been better, or just saying that they have different terms for each other, but all translates to something. Like spirit or like spirit flesh or something like that. Like there's words they could have used. It doesn't take you long, and it's not like Wolf couldn't have done the research. The Changeling, the Dreaming supplement for Asia is really good. That's really good. Again, it's not accurate to the myths all the time. Like it can't be. You've only got 10 things to play. And when like folklore is filled with different wacky weird creatures, but it's so much it draws on so many interesting things. Like their powers are based on alchemy of the 5 elements, which is so cool. Like it's more like the name just bothers me so much because it's so amateurish. It feels so amateurish for what they wanted to do. It doesn't take long for you to reach. And again, I like Kwaijin. Did I run a Kwaijin game? Or was that something else? I know I've had Kwaijin in games I've played as player characters, but I don't know if they were mixed Asian games, because I've ran a lot of Asian World of Darkness. Despite my criticisms of it, I have these criticisms, but I'm still running as a GM because I like some of the contents. Like, the Shi are stupid. They are stupid. They're just weird anime stuff, but I love them. Like, it's a fine line. I think the Kwaijin have good aspects and cool. I just hate the name. Just really hate the name. It doesn't take you long to reach a Warlock's hideout. Arkfa waves you in absently. Yeah, no, they were well done. My issue is they were you don't really get to know them, and I get the reason is you're kindred, so why would they get to know you? But, you know, it's just one of those things. I think they were well done in Bloodlines. You are correct. They were well done in that. I wish they had more meat to them, but I understand, you know, deadlines, and I'm not going to look at Troika and say, you should have made this more fleshed out. I think all the latter part of that game needs more fleshing out, but they were stretched, so for what they were fine. And it's kind of the why I'm like, hey, just write better, don't delete them, write better, and it's okay to retcon if it needs to writing better. It's the reason the Ravenos really annoy me, in everything, because the Ravenos are just patchworks upon patchworks of dealing with the base issue of writing a racial stereotype, and they just never got it down. They just never thought of doing something like trying to make them respectful, and it just bothers me. It bothers me so much that they feel really wonky and disjointed because of this. It doesn't take you long to reach a Warlock's hideout. Iaphon waves you absently. Once again, lost in his fort. Hopelessly so. Yeah, they're all dead anyway, but you know, that their writing bothers me. Still. But like, I think it's okay to criticize. Again, White Wolf tried to be inclusive, they failed. It's okay to criticize them. But what I do generally like about them is at least they try. Like Dead Magic, again, Dead Magic, while it has its criticisms, does point out, like, hey, we wanted to explore other cultures with this book. Don't take this as academic text. And like, even in other White Wolf games like Cyan, they've always shown that they want to explore different cultures, and I respect that. To do like respect like the research that goes into it and stuff. Because like yeah, like as like someone who likes myths around the world, you learn a lot of things from them. One of these nights, you should probably take him up on his offer. Who knows? You gain his trust, but maybe you can actually break through his stoic facade and meet the man underneath. Okay, cool. We can rest. I also, like, I think... What is it? I think Changeling Player's Guide 20th edition is a really good one, because they go through... They added, like, a bunch new kith, because of course they did. That's what Changeling does. But from, like, the Middle East... Africa. I think they added African ones back in. And a couple other places. But they were really well done. And I'm just not saying that because I actually understood the myths. I love Changeling. So cool. Sorry, I was just gushing about Changeling because it's based on myths, and I'm a huge mythology fan. A piece of paper sticks out of your mailbox. It's a computer printout, a note with a screenshot of Google Maps. It reads, "Meet me at the indicated spot tomorrow at 10 p.m. I'll pick you up and we'll take it from there." No signature. The place is marked on the map. It looks map. I was talking about changelings, but yeah, changeling dreamings. They're based on the myths. Oh yeah. Since changelings are based on myths, they're like very culturally linked to certain places, and I'm like, oh, they did like really cool stuff with them. Like, are their freaks a bit broken because they can become immune to basically all damage from fire? Yeah, changelings are otherkin is a basic way to describe them. They're humans who think they're humans with fairy souls, quote unquote fairy souls. And basically, due to them being basically from our myths, there's a lot of different types. In fact, the 20th edition book has a way of making your own. So let's say you don't want to play a leprechaun or an elf or a dwarf or issue or something else, and you want to play like a centaur or I don't know, give you around and give like a gorgon from Greek mythology, or a what's another one I could, or a yeah, Tara. Yeah, you can just make your own. The book encourages just making your own, which is because by the end of Changeling's lifespan, it had over 100 things you could play. Both villainous ones and player character ones had over 100. I think by the end of its original run in 2004, it had 125 or 24. So in 20th edition, they're like, just make your own. Stop asking us. Just make your own. No signature. The place marked on the map is near Point Pier 1, just next to the Brooklyn Bridge. You check it on your phone. That Mia passed you. No message, no calls. It's a bit fishy, but there's only one way to find out who address sent you. Looks like tomorrow evening is planned out for you. I wonder how far we are through this game. I have no idea. Just going downstairs as soon as you wake up. One more glance at the phone, but no news from Mia. You take the car down to Brooklyn. Park on the front street. And and approach a meeting spot cautiously. A figure about Mia's side is standing there, dressed in an oversized jacket, looking out Manhattan as you approach. You can see her muttering something. Is it true? It is true, but I don't think it is true. If I do think it's true, then it cannot be true. And if it cannot be true, then... Is that you, Mia? The woman turns around to you. It's not Mia. Whoever it is, you've never seen them before. She looks perfectly plain and unmemorable. Okay. It's not her. Is it you? You are me, and I am you. And we are here, her. And we are here. And we are here. Who is my favorite clan? Good question. Tremere Assamites. Yeah, Tremere Assamites. Possibly Gangrel. And I think that's it off the top of my head. There's a couple bloodlines which I like as well, which is God, I forget its name. It's the Viking bloodline. It's like the Valkyrie bloodline, Van Maria's or something. Which I like their Dark Age lore, do not like their Modern Age lore. Their Dark Age lore is better. Mainly because I don't play Sabat games, so I'm like, I can never play one. But their Dark Age lore is really cool. And mystical and stuff. I love Dark Age Vampire for that reason. And I think that is it off the top of my head. Without cracking like a book open to go through them all. Yeah, Dark Age is really cool. It's really good. You turn around. 3 men, all of them burly, threatening, approach you. One of them takes the lead. So, you got the message. I did. Now what? Now, you come with us. The boss wants to meet you. Talk? Oh, you mean talk? What? You gotta be shitting me. Talk isn't the boss of the jack shit. I mean my boss Callan, you dumbass. I suggest you get a move on. We got places to be. The voice of the woman keeps creeping into your conscious. The little gibberings ever present throughout your entire conversation. The man cracks his knuckles. Or we could do this the hard way. Okay, I know this game is willing to kill you. This game is legitimately willing to kill you if you choose a bad end. But I'm gonna agree. It's easier to get out of a situation if we hopefully go along presently. And these guys have probably got celerity if they're ghouls. Okay, I'll go with you. Smart. They lead you down the pier onto a motorboat. The engines start. Put this on. He points out a cloth sack. One guy holding you down. The woman is still there, whispering to herself. Somehow you hear the voice clear in your head. It becomes nagging suggestions to put the sack over your head, but you don't really want to. Yeah, but your hands go through the motions all the same. Great, cool. Mind magic. It takes 15 minutes or minutes to reach your destination, you think. The engine dies down. You're led onto shore, then further up an incline through an overgrowth. 10 more minutes of walking, until a deep voice reaches your ears. Vincent, my dear boy, wipe the hood over our guest's face. Well, boss, I thought, no, that will not do. How many times do I have to repeat myself, Vincent? You don't have to think. You have to listen and do what you're told, yes? Yes, boss. Well, take this ridiculous sack off her head, will you? The hood comes off. I do love the Dark Age of Ulva, like Dark Age of Ulva games, because I think Dark Age Wolf is the only one I'm not too familiar with. Dark Age Mage, Dark Age Vampire, Dark Age Fey are all really good books in my opinion. Dark Age Fey especially, because you're not playing a Fey trapped in a human body, you're just a creature from myth and legends. I have not read the Dark Age Clan novels. I know I should, I just haven't read them. The hood comes off. The owner of the voice is curiously sight. Dressed on what can only be described as Victorian clothing with a monocle and greying hair. Is this Callan? Apologies for Vincent's unacceptable behaviour. He can be a little thick sometimes. Isn't that right, Vincent? Yeah, boss man. Sometimes a little. I believe you already know who I am. You're the Anarch Baron. And that the truth. Douglas Callan is my name. But you may call me boss. Everyone does. For good reason. I've invited you here for a friendly chat. Now, let me make myself perfectly clear. I am disappointed in you. Truly disappointed. But I arranged this meeting to allow us to make amends. First, though, I have to make sure you understand what your affliction was. So, do you know why you are here? Because I work with Sophie Lang. I feel like you're dying to tell me. I can't help but feel like you're dying to tell me. Don't get smart with me. He takes you by the face with your hand, and while Vincent holds you tight in your grip, he squeezes hard and looks deep into your eyes. Talk is the reason you're here, or your little angry scrumping on his, am I told? Yes, Mia. Oh, I'd love to get my hands on her gaunt neck and wring it until it breaks. But you see, I'm a statesman, and not the prudent thing to do, no? I hope Wilhelm will be in the game too. I don't know if Wilhelm's in the game. I think Wilhelm would be cool. Though he's with Sabat, so who knows. So, the good ending's good, so he might join the Camarilla or the Vanox. I don't know. No, indeed, the prudent thing to do is tolerate both her and that bastard ebony-skinned mentor of his. Okay. Look at how the world has become these nights. Here I am, lambasting a black man and a woman in front of a whelp of Asian descent. My papa, rest his soul, would not believe it. Okay, guy, you... Oh, okay, that's interesting. I don't... Like, they backtracked so hard on the Sabat. I haven't read the Sabat book yet. Because I don't have access to the V5 books. No one in my group plays this, so we don't get them spread around like with the Scion books. I've bought so many Scion books, dear god. Scion 2 is great, it's a great game though. I played both Scion 1 and Scion 2, they're both good. But they backtracked so hard. They released the Sabat book as, like, I'm half expecting they started working on the Sabat book as soon as the backlash to the Sabat came out. Not being there. Again, I haven't read it, don't know what it does, but hey. I mean, they did a lot of efforts to get back good faith, like releasing the Zamisi, the Ravanos, and the Salubri as a free book, which is pretty good. But the Ravanos and the Zamisi suffer a lot. No, the Ravanos and the Salubri suffer a lot, just so the Zamisi can get all the rules and systems. And it's really annoying. Because the Zamisi are the only ones which get in-depth rules about their disciplines and stuff. Yeah, no, take that shit back or else. You better take that day shit back, old man, or else. Or else what are you going to do exactly? He looks at you with rage in his eyes and you feel insignificant and vulnerable. An irritational fear takes you over. You cannot speak up against this man again. You just can't. He's too terrifying. Now, I have your full attention. I request something for you, and you will obey it to the letter. But that comes for later. First, you will answer a question. The first of which is, who pointed you to Mia? Oh yeah, we're gonna lie to this guy. This guy's a jerk. Nobody. It was my idea. Nobody. It was my idea. Oh really? And what's your tension behind the meaning? Mandalorian season. I haven't watched the first 2 seasons. I need to. God, I'm really behind on media. Even anime I want to watch, I haven't catched up on. I wanted to contact talk. We'll see. I wanted to contact talk. I had to go through Mia. Ah yes, the so-called veteran loves to use pretty girls to hide behind. I heard. Well, that would check out. And what did you end up discussing? I wanted her to explain Vanox to me. I wanted her to learn about Vanox, so I asked her about the movement. Oh child, you should have come to me then. I am the Anarch movement in the sea, and nobody makes a secret out of it. You bet on the wrong course. I'm sure you'll soon learn. See, that wasn't hard now, was it? Of course I can't be sure of how much you told me is true, and how much of it is worth about as much as yesterday's horse shit. But I'll find out. I always do. When I do, you'll have another one of those nice talks, and maybe, just maybe, you'll avoid this upcoming unpleasant episode next time. He gives Winston a sign, and the burly man starts hitting on you all over. You feel teeth, ribs, fingers break, your foot is mangled underneath Vincent's boots, your shoulders dislocate, your nose wrecked. That's enough, Vincent. Leave them be. He snaps his finger in front of your face a few times and checks if you're focused on his face. You can, but barely. I am a man of principle. Another night, I had perhaps put you in a casket, dipped in concrete, and dumped in the Hudson. Okay, see you. Bye-bye. Hope you have a good day. Hudson, a favourite of mine during the Roaring Twenties. Ah, it has been a while. Like mentioned before, I am nothing but prudent, so the interest of the city's kindred must come before my own needs and wants. I will therefore let you continue your existence. That's what I require in turn for you, a boon. You are forbidden to meet Torque. I'll keep an eye on you, on him. If you want a place with Vanarchs, go through me and only me. Got it. You have understood what they made my associates to do to you, and I was just business. We can still work out a mutually beneficial relationship. In fact, it's either that or your final death. Time to go, Vincent. Take the boat back, leave the fledgling here. I think they have a lot to think about. Sure thing, boss. Pleasure making your acquaintance. Colin walks away. As soon as Vincent and his brand of thugs, you lie on the ground a while longer, feeling your body slowly putting itself back together. Hunger overtakes you. You hear the beast calling for sustenance, for safety, for revenge, a distant but pronounced third desire. It's not until you mend yourself enough to appear more as a mugged victim than a possibly mangled walking cadaver that you hail a passing taxi back to your haven. You give the driver your address and pass out. The darkness greets you sometime, and some time passes, you think. You feel somebody shaking you. You open your eyes. It's the driver. You think he is asking if you're right. His words change to a muffled shout. He goes silent. You think he tastes great as tired caffeine-pumped taxi driver with high cholesterol can taste. Ooh, warm blood pours down your throat and flows into your limbs, mending them. He grows cold, but you still do not have control. You are still observing, not acting. Your body is not yours. The beast is in charge. Regain control. That's enough. No, it's not. I said that's enough. It'll never be enough. Enough! You break free from a man. He's dazed but conscious. He's groggy, saying something about feeling tired. You leave the money on the driver's seat and let him rest in the back. The four familiar walls you have in the haven are blessing. The beast inside you keeps nagging, but you have railed through tonight. Not a small fee given your state. You are still weak. You're still not quite mended. You need to rest. Tomorrow you'll have to feed again. Tomorrow you'll have to consider your next move. Kyle is not the man who quits, but tonight you can rest. Wow, just gave us a useless night. I don't even know if we're even in like the gameplay where we get to pick quests anymore. Waking up tonight feels different for two reasons. For one, you are pleasantly surprised by your body mending reasonably well while you are resting. It comes with a caveat though. The hunger you feel is pronounced. The beast, like a black dog at the edge of your vision, is following you. But what is truly remarkable is waking up to the tune of an old cell phone ring. An unknown name was calling you from the phone you got from me. You pick it up. Kept that old thing charged after all night. You alright? I feel like shit. No, actually, I feel like shit. Look, that's too bad, but I don't really care. You're just being polite. I was just being polite. I'm calling with good news. Talk has agreed to meet you. There's a pub in Brock's, Squads, and Strides. Be there tonight. Two things. No drinking on premises. If you want to grab a snack, do it before saying third in burrows. And this is an extremely no-power meeting. You'll be rubbing soldiers with commoners with the whole evening. And also, we don't trust you, so keep it casual or you'll blow it. Anything else you'd like to add? Will you protect me from Kahan? If we meet, I need an offer me protection from Kahan. I met him yesterday. He kicked my ass, forbade me from eating talk. Silence on the other line. Fuck. More silence. I can't promise you any protection on your way there or back. But at the pub, you'll be in Talk's domain. For his posturing, Kahan doesn't have the balls to try Talk directly. We'll post additional lookouts on watch. That's the best that I can do. If Kahan gets under your skin, I get it. I was in the spot once or twice. All I gotta say is, the risk is worth it. If you don't show up, I won't blame you. But this is a one-time offer. You gotta hedge your bets. Just do it and just don't do anything stupid. You meet us tonight, it'll be better to be in good faith. For cool ends. First things first, you take the subway to New York Station. Walk 4 up Front Street, receive your car. You weigh your options while driving to your haven. Feeling it, yeah, trust your intuition. You've been doing good for a few nights. You've been getting a good feel for it. For learning what kind of predator you are and what kind of blood you crave. You're so caught up in yesterday's problems that the cloak and dagger diabolical that you're a part of, that hunt feels almost automatic, casual night, a fragment of your surrenders control. Just a minute after you find a victim, coax them, drink from them, you find yourself forgetting their face and how they were dressed. It only hits you once looking at yourself in the car rearview mirror. This is wrong. You can't let this become a norm. You hurt someone, a human being. You're a monster. You need to stay mindful of this. You're a monster, but unless you let yourself off the hook, you can behold yourself to humanity and not let yourself slide down a spiral. Instead, clearing your mind has clouded it further, and you're still no closer to a decision. Drive to the mean directly. Dangerous or not, you have to make the trip to the Bronx and meet with Talk. No detours, just best just to get over with. You take some basic precautions as you enter Talk's turf. You park a few streets from where the pub is and walk towards it while keeping an eye out for anyone suspicious. The kindred, for the most part, look no different than regular people. Makes things complicated, of course. If you're being followed or watched, it's going to be hard to tell. You reach the pub, shoot a glance around. There's nobody suspicious around as far as you can see. You open the door. The smell of cigars is overwhelming. The whole place has an allure about it. A constant fog hangs over the ceiling. The lethargic fans do nothing to spare it. The constant cracking of the billboards and clacking of glasses tells you that those about clientele. Not a very vampiric place at all. You're wondering if you got the dress right. You apparently did. Maya's here. She motions over to you one for a few tables. Took your sweet time getting here. What, got cold feet? Never mind. Anyone follow you? I don't know, maybe. Not that I know of. That's a bad statement. Not that I know of. Fair enough. Before I introduce you, there's some outstanding business to discuss. You did well enough to get into the bar, I guess. There are plenty of Sams and C, but I think you have good fear on who sent Bruce to spy on us, so thanks for that. Talk was happy enough with the result you got too. Here's your chance, don't blow it. You walk towards the tables. A guy in a coat and hat leans over his shop. He's way ahead of his opponent. The table clear of balls, save for the eighth ball in a tricky position. Hey, there you are. Be with you in just a moment. He hits it fast, precise, and sends it the black ball exactly into the player wanted. His opponent lets out a frustrated sigh. That's it. I believe that's 150 American dollars, Joey. I don't want. You want to pay up now or up the stakes again? The disgruntled man accepts his defeat and plays up, then declares he's going to grab another beer. To the victor goes the spoils. Thank you kindly. He turns his full attention to you. The man's good looking, if somewhat drawn in interest. His eyes especially seems to pierce right through your core, but not in a pleasant way. Name's Talk. I believe you're Gawain, Sophie Langley's new plaything, is that right? How does everybody know about that? Van, aren't you? I'm asked too. How does everyone know that? Word travels fast. Fast when you care to listen, fledgling. We wouldn't be talking tonight if I hadn't learned that a long time ago. Forgive me for being real with you tonight off the bat, but I'd like to know who it is I'm dealing with, so there's something that I'd like to scratch my head about. If you're Will Langley and Langley's Cam, though through and through, I'm told, what has you come accomplish here tonight? Technically that's what we want, but I'm here to spy Callan. See, I met boss Callan yesterday. He had me beat and left. He had me beat and left me broken in the middle of nowhere. He told me I wasn't supposed to meet you, so I came here to prove myself that I could. Ha! I take some balls. I admire your spirit, even if it sounds like a great way of finishing this nightly existence of yours with a banger few. But that's not the whole story, is it? Come on, clean with me. Sophie wants to meet you. Sophie Langley wants to meet you. Don't ask why, she didn't tell me. She just said something to do with gathering allies against Boss Callan, but I'm here to arrange that meeting. But fuck, I knew nothing about it. T, they lied to me. Bao's furious. She's looking at the pool call as if she was figuring the best combination of the two. There it is. Give them a break, Mai. It's not easy to say that kind of thing to my face, I imagine. Well, that's an interesting proposition. You can't be serious thinking about meeting with Langley. She's hardcore Cam. It's a trap. It must be. It might be. Just might. He looks at you, piercing with his unnatural keen eyes. He's about to say something when the door opens in the back of the room. Hey, Talk, you got a guest. He's in the back. Mate, will you be a dear and keep our new friend company? I'll see what the commotion is. Sure thing. Talk tips his hat to you and walks to the back, joining the man who called for him. Maya glares at you, gals at you, this time weighing one of the pool balls in her hand. She looks like she's half might chuck it at your face. You'll be quite happy yourself, bluffing your way here. It's not just Sophie I'm here for. It might have started as a task, Sophie, but I'm glad I could meet you and talk. Don't hold it against me. No, I'm gonna hold it against you. For a while. You made you look like a real chump in front of talk. Here I was beginning to think you might be a good addition to our little family. There's a whole lot of trust you'll have to regain before that happens now. Talk appears at the door at the back and calls across the room. Yo, Mai, can I grab you a few seconds? Gawain, get over here too. You go to the back room. It's basically a storage area with a wooden desk. It's pretty cramped, especially considering the 5 people that are in there with you. Talk ushers you in, closes the door behind you, and Bay and the 2 burly dudes are holding someone down. A familiar voice reaches your ear. Motherfuckers, you're gonna pay for this, you hear me? The boss is gonna fuck you up so badly you have no idea. You have had a doubtful pleasure of meeting Mr. Saturi before, Gawain? You could say that? You could say that? You fucked. You're so fucked. You don't even know it. You stupid piece of shit. I should have ended you yesterday. The boss told me to stay, but told you to stay away. You should have listened. That's a story and a half, innit? Vince, calm down. Now, tell me how many of you guys are still out there on my turf, and go fuck yourself. We're done. Boss will know this stupid piece of shit fledgling comic here. He knows you're with Langley. You know what that means, talk. No, I don't. What does that mean, Vince? Now the boss can wipe you out. He'll say that you're sucking Langley's tits and all the buddies of yours. Gone. You'll be done, talk. Well now, if that's the case, I guess ridding NYC of yours of your today ass won't make things any worse, will it? Actually, there's an idea. Vince mentioned that he beat you up yesterday. Did I hear that right, Gawain? You would want to repay a favor? We'll go gladly. Go right ahead. We'll stake him. You notice an old pool cue in the room. May I? Knock yourself out, kid. You break it over your knee. Fuck, you always wanted to do that. Then you approach Kalian's fog with a sharp piece of wedding out. Don't you fucking do it, fledgling. Don't. You slam the improvised stake into his chest. You hit the heart the first try. Vince features glow stack. His entire body inert. He didn't even give out a yelp. That's it. He's all yours. Take him downstairs. Let's keep Kalian guessing about what happened to his favorite puppy. I'll figure out what to do with the cum gustler later. The other 2 analysts who have Vince down before take him out of the room. As entertaining as was, I think Vince and his unmatched wisdom shared more than Kalian would hope for. This changes things. Have you ever heard of Operations Lights Out, Gawain? It was the second inquisition effort here in New York City. A single night of raids magnitudes never seen before or since. But Ivory Tower got away with a few losses here and there. No major players were hit. They managed to find safe spots, stay out of the eyes of the shitstorm. Us though, we got hit hard. All over town, havens were rooted out. Entire Coteries and safe houses gone, just like that. Nobody saw it coming. I barely got out one piece. Mai looks at him concerned. He puts a hand on his arm. He shrugs off, but generally shrugs. Others, like my child Bob or my sire, extinguished. But you know who got out without a scratch? Kalian. We've thought about it for the past few years, about how Big B managed to excuse himself from Staten Island Museum, where we used to meet, just before vans full of guys in body armor showed up. How is that my baby is burning up after the shot with incendiary bounds? I see Doug Cannon running with his tail between his legs, pushing fledglings like you out of his path in front of the ISI. We think about our bastard knew what was coming. He set us up. Not just us, but our brothers and sisters who got hit and had the lowest profiles of the city's lake population. The moral of the story? Kalian is an opportunistic motherfucker, and if his thickest followers suggest he's going to sell me out, then that's what he's going to do, as short as the sun rises. He pauses a moment and sees him reaction to a decision. You said a thing about Langley having an offer for me. It might be your fault in part that I am in this jurisdiction, but now's going to be as good a time as ever to listen to what she has to say. I don't think that's wise, T. Well, what do you have to me do then? You say yourself, it's the fledgling's fault. They brought this on us. We use them as a bargaining chip. Kalian wants them, Langley needs them. They're valuable. I'm sorry, but don't sell me out. Guys, I'm sorry it turned out this way. I really am, but I'm just a messenger in this. Don't throw me under the bus. That's just it, CT. They're just a messenger. What if this whole thing was planned? What if Langley is looking to score brownie points for the prince and this is all a setup? If that's the case, then they're beyond the point of no return anyway. So, what if Callian wants with his fledgling? He wants us out of the picture. He'll find a reason. If not tonight, then soon. Mai, I understand your concern, but I need you to trust me like you did before. This is Michael, my responsibility. You give me shit about it later. I'm sure you will. Count on it. He smiles, and he takes a no bullshit look and points to you. 3 conditions. First, you come pick me up personally and bring me to the meeting spot. Anything goes sideways, it's on your ass. Second, Mai's coming with me. No two ways about it. 8 eyes in the meeting. The 2 of you, the 2 of us. Nobody else. Third, the meeting is public. Downtown, some spot frequented by malls. We see you can take us anywhere fishy. We check out the fuck out and pass the message to Langley. I count on it to come to that, though you seem likable enough. The cow hasn't got its talons into you yet. Keep it up and you may be able to come to the same conclusion we did in your own time. Oh, wait and see. I might. Even if it's not a movement C after Camera gets away. If there is even an Anarch C in this movement after the Camarilla gets its way. You know, don't you worry none. The Cam only seems like a stable monolith. Just wait until they get bored of the Praha's rule. Let me tell you, nothing's quite as fascinating and amusing as well-dressed rats scurrying over the another to call themselves a prince of the pile, if even for a moment. Best to be on your way. Ask for me when you need me. The bartender knows how to get in touch. Just ask him to put the owner on the line. Me walks you to the door, accompanies you to your car. Listen, about what I said before. Yeah, what about it? I panicked. That's all it was. It's unfair. Like I said, if anything, it's my fault. I'm angry with myself. That makes me angry at you. Forget it. See ya. She starts walking back to the bar as you start your engine and head back to Sophie's apartment. Time to give Sophie the good news. She welcomes you in openly as ever, clearly excited to see what the news you might bring. Let me actually take a drink. Oh, that's better. My throat can breathe. Good evening, Gawain. Whoa, that's not my voice. Good evening, Gawain. How is your task going? Have you something for me, perhaps? It's done, but there will be trouble. I did what you asked. Meeting is set up. I suggest we take advantage of it quickly, though. There's going to be trouble. Trouble? What trouble? Callian forbid me from meeting talk. Boss Callian goons grabbed me yesterday and forced me to meet with him. It was very clear that I could not talk to talk, or he'll kill me. I went and did it anyway. I appreciate your dedication, I really do. I'm sorry you got hurt. Thank you for following through. Well, let's hear it. What did talk agree to? You relay the Anarch's leader's condition. You're able to pick him and Maya and me should be included. The 4 of you. I should be held in a public space. Those are all fair enough, though I worry about Maya's character. Tell me, do you think she's trustworthy? She's fine for an Anarch. I met some Anarchs over the past few nights, and she's one of the one's most agreeable ones. She's fine, I guess. I see, very well. As for the place, I wonder if they would agree to meeting in Hudson Yard, the vessel. Plenty of tourists visit the tourist place. But if we go there after midnight, she seems to make up her mind. Yes, bring them tomorrow night. Look for me near the top level. What are you discussing? What's so important that you can't send a letter or something? You will be there to find out. Pick them up at midnight and drive them to Midtown. That's the plan. I'll be waiting for as long as it takes, within reason. I'm counting on you, Gawain. The final puzzle piece is about to find its way into the destination. After that, we'll be getting just for the reward. You, me, the Camarilla, even Vanox. I could kiss you. Yes, you'd like that. You desire it. She must have caught you in that expression. She smiles. As a figure of speech, darling. Or at least is tonight. But a few nights from now, who knows? I'm growing fond of you, and your success whets my appetite for those kind of things. But excessive tension in the room is unbearable, until it suddenly disappears. Was that another one of Sophie's tricks, or an actual spark of arousal in both of your undead bodies? You suddenly feel blood flowing through your short moment. The warmth in your groin takes you by surprise. You didn't think you could do that anymore, or did you just imagine it? See the results. Use the rest of the night well, Gawain, and rest. We are but day sleep away from shaking this whole city awake. We're just gonna do this. We don't really have anything else to do. You know what you'd expect when you return to small bookstore serving as Agathor's haven. The cacophony of occult images assaults you from the book covers displayed in a window, but you understand the fake facade, there's something real. This time, the Buddha and the satanic Bible of the storefront almost seem funny, or perhaps just started to tune in the dry humor of these Tremere. Just as you're about to ring the doorbell opens. Agathon storms out. You step aside, just in time to avoid him stumbling into you. Gawain, what are you doing here? I'm window shopping for books that would help me understand the wicked beast I've become. Agathon looks at you and sighs. Please, no jokes. I don't have energy to deal with your attempts at humor. Agathon walks to his car with you in tow. It doesn't occur to you last time, but it's surprisingly pedestrian vehicle. An aging middle-sized family sedan. You imagine it would look like a baby seat in back. Opening the door on the driver's side, Agathon notices your look. Laugh what you want, but it's competious and practical. You sit down in the car and Agathon starts driving in his usual careful style. At the very least, you'll never be stopped at the traffic cops. It seems Agathon isn't interested in small talks. Beautiful night. On a beautiful night like these, it's not too bad to be kindred. Agathon turns slowly to you, both hands on the wheel, in exactly the same position you remember driving instructor demonstrating you long ago. Please don't attempt to make small talk. I don't care whether the night is beautiful or miserable. The true engines are shaping our world in invisible ways. You exit Manhattan over Brooklyn Bridge and reach the site of a nightclub that seems to be your destination. It's on the riverfront, a convenient form warehouse. From the start, you recognize this place. The club where fate latches cold, grubby hands on your soul. You wanted to pipe, instead you became a monster. How's that for a hangover? After Agathon parks his car, it's time for you to enter the nightclub. You glance around at the Tremere, evaluating it. It's not his kind of place. There's a good chance the research notes are here. Let's go. Let's not waste any time. Excellent. There's a line in the club, but it's like a popular spot, even if based on the crowd, it's not exactly the same place as supermodels and celebrities. You walk up to the man in the front door. Oh damn, we're getting blood splotches. Hey, you remember me? Mind if we go in? The bouncer looks at you, taken by your supernatural charisma. Doesn't matter whether he really remembers you or not. Sure, go right in. Have a great night. You walk into the club, ignoring the people standing in line. The music beats down on you, brings memories of your human existence. The first time you went dancing with friends, when you flirted with someone on the dance floor. This time it's different. You are a predator and everyone is prey. Tightly packed, twitching sacks of blood and tissue. You sense the knot of emotions all around you. Blood tinted with happiness, lust, rage, jealousy, love. A buffet of sensation. Focus. Keep an eye out for trouble while I look for what I came to find. You know not and follow Agathon through the throng, trying to ignore all the warm flesh circling blood around you. We're going to focus on helping Agathon. Eyes on the prize. You come here to help Agathon, that's what you'll do. Agathon wades through the crowd, through the dancing people, with purpose. But you have no idea how he's searching for missing research notes. Perhaps he's using an enhanced sense of a vampire or his esoteric society. At the very least, he seems to know what he's doing. Juno. You swerve to avoid a drunken man who's just about to spill a beer on you and try to see what Agathon is looking at. A young woman, intense, purposeful. A little bit out of place with my club. Just like you and Agathon. Should we leave? This looks like trouble. Perhaps we should leave. She wouldn't dare attack us in the midst of these people. Let's hear her out. The woman Juno elbows a drunken man out of her way and points a finger at Agathon's face. Agathon, you traitor, don't you dare stand between me and what's mine. You look at the woman in surprise. Her appearance stands in contrast with her anger or words. Juno. You know how Allison is. Allison will not let you leave the notes. Perhaps she won't even let you leave at all. Juno pulls close to Agathon's face on the stage and whispers loudly enough for you to hear the music. You're still so brainwashed you don't care about what Allison fucking Starbring wants. I'm done jumping through her hoops. I don't want why saw in you, Agathon. You're such a lapdog. She's your ex? Sorry to interrupt, but is this woman your ex? Yes, we used to date. Maybe we still would if you weren't a fucking coward, Agathon. That's not fair, Juno. It's fair and you know it. You're busy licking Alicing's boots, you didn't realize what we had. Alicing doesn't wear boots. Don't correct me. First start, you realize Juno is generally upset. It's hard to say how long they've been broken up, but these wounds are still there. You're the kind of man who takes the side of his boss over his girlfriend. Juno's eyes glisten red with blood of the tears, but you look at Agathon uncertainly. It was for your own good. Juno steps back, suddenly cold, ignoring the people dancing all around her. She says at Agathon, "The past is past, the traditions are dead to me. You won't stop me, Agathon. I'll make sure of that, here and now. You know why? You know I have the power. No, Juno, please." Avalon sounds panicked. He's worried about his own survival, but the possibility that Juno is about to unleash a genuine masquerade breach. Reason for Juno. Look around you. We're in a crowd full of humans. If you start something, it'll be a masquerade breach. Catching on, Agathon joins in the spun argument. If you break a masquerade, it won't just be Alicing Starbridge who has it in for you, it'll be Quidar. Juno looks hesitant, worried. After a moment, she backs away. Alright, you assholes, I'll play it cool. She slides into the dancing crowd. You see her move the mints of people, but it doesn't look like she'll start a fight. Give me a few seconds, I'll verify the notes are here or not. You idle among the dancers, and Agathon prowls clumsily out of the place of the throng and finally comes back to you. They're here, but not anymore. The ritual I performed is very reliable. We can go. Juno will probably waste time trying to find the notes here, and that'll give us an edge. You leave the nightclub. Outside, you walk to Agathon's car and drive back to the Brooklyn Bitch to Manhattan, heading to Agathon's haven. Juno mentioned something very personal things. I trust your desecration not discussing these things with Alicing? Of course. Your love life is your business. Thank you. After a while, you reach Agathon's haven. He parks his car, you walk to the cold bookshop and Agathon invites you inside. The smell of incense assaults you as before, making you grateful you don't have to breathe. You follow Agathon upstairs to find Alicing Sternbridge in an armchair reading an old book. She puts an bookmark in place as she comes in. You look successful, I hope. No, I'm sorry. The notes were there at some point, but not anymore. That's a shame. I hope you don't run out of time. How did Sophie's little prodigy do? Agathon turns to you. Well, surprisingly well. That's a surprise. We'll have to compliment Sophie on her choices. We met Juno. Fortunately, she couldn't find the notes either. That's interesting. The High Regent turns to look at you. What was your impression of Juno, fledgling? Driven. She was very driven, motivated. I don't think she'll desist easily. You're probably right. Juno could have made a great member of a house in different circumstances. Instead, she became a headache. You'll understand if you have a child of your own some night, fledgling. Anyway, I have something to discuss with Agathon. Run along now. You leave the cult bookstore with cheesy mystical music still in your ears as you walk away. You wonder about what happened with Juno. Why is she so anxious to leave her clan? Can she really do that? Could you leave Sophie's services if you just wanted to? I think this is the end of the game, actually, as soon as I hit rest. Because it sounds... But we'll see. Sorry, just taking a drink. You wake up. This is not your haven. It's a cramped space. You try to move your arms and find that you're tied to your body. You can barely feel your legs, bend your legs. You try to stretch your neck and hit a cold ceiling. You can't quite believe it, but this is a coffin or something close to it. It vibrates slightly, but you can't hear any sounds coming from the outside. It's entirely dark. Podes, try and smash my way through. You focus and divert your blood to boost your physical prowess, like the way you imagined. You're going to Superman punch for this thing while it lit off. You kick with all your strength but only make a dent. Hey, it's a start. You keep kicking. With each hit, makes a bigger dent. Until it makes a small crack in the very bottom of the container. A bit of light and sound comes in. The cracking of a radio, a hum of a car engine, a nervous male voice. Object is breaking containment. Please advise. A response you didn't quite catch. The brakes of the car, an impact jolts your container you're in. Keep kicking, keep wrestling out of your prison. The car door opens violently. You hear a gun being cooked, a panic scream. Operation Compromise. Engage blank bodies. Shots. A struggle. Silence. The lid comes off. What the? We found you! You were trying to cross the border, right? Walked right into that Imperial ambush. Same as us and the asshole over there. Oh my god, Hope. Oh, okay, Roloff as well. Okay, cool. Didn't find a Skyrim reference. That hurt as someone who plays way too much Skyrim. Come on, get up. We gotta get going. Seeing their faces is surprising, even by circumstances. However, you realize the immediate danger and follow your companions out of the car and down the street to the North Bronx. The van has crashed in another car. A familiar face that Kaiser's ghouls. Jackie stumbles out of the wreckage, shaded and slick with the darkness before you can call after him. The three of you jog away from the line of trees and take shelter under some branches just as you see a chopper approaching. And searchlights illuminate the wrecked van and move towards you. Hide now! You see Tamaka literally go into the ground, melting with the earth beneath her feet as if it was being swallowed up. You look at Hope, but she's not there. You haven't seen movement, but she's just trees, and she's leaning a scant few seconds. You're left alone, just a few seconds to make your move before Spotlight finds you. Hide under the closest tree. Seeing no better option, you duck behind the nearest tree. Its trunk isn't very thick, but it'll be enough to conceal you from the searchlight. The illuminated pass over inches from you, but it's good as just a pattern light on the ground. The tree blocks a good portion of it and doesn't dwindle on you. It doesn't seem like they've spotted you or any of your companions. The helicopter flies on, its searchlight frantically moving throughout the vicinity of your companions, once again appearing in your proximity. Close call. We have to get out of here before Vasai puts a boot on the ground. Can you tell me what's going on here? Can you tell me what's going on? Hope, fill them in while we walk. Follow me. Your life up to this point, everything you knew. It's highly advanced VR simulation. Welcome to the real world. You blank stare is what makes her crack. No, actually, Vasai First Light in this case. I think they raided your haven and took you in. They had just transported you out of town. Kaiser told us which route they'd take. Kaiser organized this? Why? Kaiser organized this whole effort. Why would you do that? In this Kaiser no find somebody who's about to die useful? They simply don't die. Maroon. Guess you kept yourself useful, so good work. Keep at it, eh? Okay, I'll ride here. Stay low. Vasai might still be around. Kaiser's familiar car stops nearby and the back door opens. Your allies usher inside and you join. Being inside this mobile fortress never felt like a relief until now. Hey, fledgling, miss me? Not really, but I'm glad you're here. No, not really, but we'll say this, I'm glad you're here. Well, I'm not very fond of breaking licks out of covert SI transport, so consider this an investment. That was a civilian transport. No convoy, nothing. I expected more resistance. What? You want more sharpen? You want to sharpen those claws on? Don't worry. That might still happen. They might even regret it. Things are afoot, as the diet goes. Anyway, listen up, Gawain. You are here, now. Only because I told your buddies where the neck-deep shit. Van you in? One-way ticket to Hartsvale. Painesvale. I broke you out as a favor. Now you owe me big. Hope snorts. What's so funny, Jester? Hartsville? Painesvale? What, you like it? Yeah, it's literally the funniest thing I've ever heard. Is there a youth center where the workshop these bits with ancient demons that can I get into? Everybody's a critic. How did you know? How did you know? How the hell did you know that SI broke into my haven and took me away? Is that a piss poor attempt at an insult, fledgling? I've kept eyes on you ever since the little job you did for me in No Letter. You know, in case I needed you for something else. I had to know you were coming and goings. Guess rumors are true. Voldfart is surprisingly good at keeping up with information from MSC despite his age. Probably the top 3. Gee, thanks, Sugar. To be fair, you're probably in the top 10. You're probably in the top 10. He grins, with what you assume is a lecherous smile. Hope seems only totally insulted by the top 10 remark. I have a good idea for why the IS hate you, Gawain. Not that there's a ton of good reasons for it. There might be one of these, for instance. The screen of Kaiser's car flicks you should have now. Shows a short loop of it. It's you. Getting into a fight, feeding, using one of your powers. You haven't exactly kept a low profile, fledgling. I get it. That you're new to this. You didn't know better, yada yada yada. The fact is, Vass, I have a ton of this stuff. Security camera footage, YouTube videos posted by onlookers, social media posts from victims, you name it. Like I said, I don't think any one of these did you in. Slip-ups happen. The reason you're walking and talking, Gawain, is a test of a hypothesis of mine. For that, I need you to finish what you were tasked to do. First things first, here. He hands you a phone. The number's already dialed. You hear the tone. Someone picks up. Who is this? It's me, Sophie. Gawain, are you okay? They're fine and dandy. Kaiser, what are you doing on this line? What do you think? It's my phone your protege's using, so keep it snappy. Operating a secure network isn't cheap. Come on, Gawain, spare out. I got captured by SI. Listen, I got captured by Second Inquisition, but I'm fine now. SI? That's why I feared. Listen, the plan. We need to do it tonight. But if the Inquisition is involved and you broke out, they'll be looking for you, so we can't be in public. I had a place in mind. But Kaiser, are you still listening? I would tell you if I wasn't. Gawain, call this number from where you visited last before we spoke. I'll come pick you up. She hangs up, and that's that. What is that? What's that? What is that you got yourself into? No need to answer that riddle. I think we almost arrived at our answer. Sorry to spoil the fun, but I'll answer a particular riddle momentarily. Don't worry, doll. I can throw a few ones your way after mutual acquaintance continues with our night. If my intel was well done, the next stop, Gawain, is right about here. The car comes to a stop. The door opens. Outside, you see a street light leading to Soldiers and Strips. Torque's pool pub. Well, you need me to kick you out? What about my companions? What about Tamaka and Hope? What about them? They're staying right here where they are, and they're going to have a little chat. After we're done, I'm sure we'll find a way back to your haven just fine. The clock is ticking. I think I know what Sophie wants you to do tonight. And if I'm right, tonight's the last chance you got. You want to say bye to the bubbles before you go? That's fine by me. The schedule of yours is pretty hectic, so better keep it now and scram. You say your goodbyes, quickly stepping out of the car. It feels strange as if those were the last moments together. You shake off a feeling. You have other things to worry about. You turn around and make your way to the bar door and close it behind you, and Kaiser's limo starts moving again. You hope your companions won't have to pay too high a price for helping you. The Solds and Strips is pretty much abandoned tonight. And only the bartender, a blurry-eyed local watching an old Bogart movie on the bar screen. You ask for a phone and call Sophie first. Yes? I'm out of the bar. Good. We'll be there in 15 minutes. If Torque's not there, notify him. We need to move fast. She hangs up. You tell a bartender to notify Torque, and just like Van Leader mentioned you should, the man makes a short call. You only hear somebody picking up, but no words exchanged. He's on his way right now. Can I get you anything while you wait? Do you serve the special stuff? Bartender raises an eyebrow. The special reserve, you mean? Sorry, I can only do that to a narrow selection of bonus friends. It's been a rough night. Give me a break. It's been a rough night. Give me a break, please. It's just a sip. I don't know. I really shouldn't. What the hell? You do look like you need it. He takes out a bottle of safe behind the counter, pours a little brown liquid into a glass. It's whiskey. There, enjoy. Your disappointment's palpable, but at least it's got a nice smell. Torque comes in 10 minutes later. Mia. He tips his hat, puts a hand on your blear-eyed patron shoulders, and says something under his breath. Then they both laugh. My, how's the night going? Quiet, sir. How would you like it, huh? Torque notices your untouched glass of whiskey in it and left you persuade the bartender to pour it. For me, you shouldn't have. He takes a glass and drinks the liquid, moving it around his mouth before swallowing. He looks at you. Sure, I won't keep it in forever, but the night when I don't enjoy the taste of good whiskey is the night when I truly consider myself damned. God, my throat is sore. Hang on, let me take a drink. Gawain. Well, Gawain, I believe you wanted me here for a reason, so let's hear it. You're about to tell him what brought you here, when the doorstep of the bar opens and Sophie walks in, all splendor and charisma. The patron's eyes is now glued on her, and so are the bartenders. Torque isn't happy with this sight. Well, This isn't what we agreed on, Gawain. Care to explain? We had to things got complicated. We had to improvise. Huh. Pleasure to make your acquaintance. I believe Gawain had already told you why I'm here. Not in any detail. The circumstances of meeting were supposed to be different, so Langley, tell me why I shouldn't ask you to leave and kick you out your project while I'm at it. You'll like what I have to say. Yeah, I've heard that line 100 times, but 99 of those end with somebody getting hurt, and that's not something I'm in the mood for tonight. We're wasting time here. This isn't a unique opportunity. We should take advantage of it. And we only have an hour or so to discuss it before it'd be time to act. The driver is waiting outside. Wait a goddamn minute. First of all, I'm not going anywhere without Maya, and that's the deal. Second, it's Gawain who was supposed to be the one driving, not your servant. Both serve me, so is it really a little difference? The circumstances changed. We had to adapt. Don't be stubborn. Foolishness does not suit you. I have a secure spot in mind that we can talk. I'll stop you right there. Talk is seething, but he's keeping the lid on his anger. His voice barely changes. My conditions were clear. The way I hear it, you want to break each one of them. I have no reason to agree to this. I believe I'll be staying put tonight. You have places to be, right? Talk. You're throwing away your only chance to deal with Calling. Don't be a fool. The lid comes off. Call me a fool one more time, woman, and there will be only one thing I'm going to be throwing. You're both acting like children. You need to put aside your differences and see others' point of view. Sophie and Tor glare at you. No power. Just their personas are enough to make you feel like you prefer to be anywhere else here. Who the fuck do you think you are? There's only one child here, Gawain. They're your patron, Langley. What does that tell us? Why are you implying you isn't like... Shots break a window and flashbang goes off the roof, changing the bar into a spare of white light, ringing the noise. You feel someone tugging your back or throwing behind the bar. More shots ring out, bottles break, the TV shatters into pieces, wooden bar splinters. Your sight comes back, but you are gone deaf. Suddenly, the room is silent. You see Talk beside you, and Maya, bartender, bleeding out on the floor. You look over the bar. Sophie's standing there, the dress in tatters, invisible hole in her leg. She is like a heel of supernova, entrancing, unavoidable, beautiful, and terrifying. In front of her, 8 operatives are like private military forces, just standing there, paralyzed by Sophie's magnificence. Talk, you still there? Yeah? Would you kindly show your guests some hospitality? Sure thing. Avalon is gone in a blink of eye. He reappears next to one of his shoulders, on the clad operative's head disappears in a pool of blood and bone. The same thing happens in the second. The third, you hear radios go off. The soldiers, a panicked voice telling them to wake up. The fourth head pops in the fifth. And finally, realization that something's happening, but it's too late. The sixth man is beheaded, but what you see now is just Talk's bare fists. Talk's upset man by ripping off his neck and bites down. Sophie walks over to the last man and has him in the kneel in front of him before biting him as well. On your right, a man in full body armor emerges from a back door, his assault rifle raised. What the fuck? Break his soldier's neck. Not thinking twice, you stand up and grab the soldier's head with your hands. Before you can react, you twist. A sickening sound of bone breaking is followed by a crumpling of his limp body. You see Talk holding a combat knife in his hand, ready to throw it. He catches your eye. Beat me to it. Langley? Sophie wipes the blood from her mouth and looks up at him. The being still an iron? Yes. I'll take it. Splendid. Talk walks behind the bar and checks on the bartender. You see Anarch open his wrist and feed blood to the wounded man. Drink up, Mai. You'll be feeling better. Get the hell out of here and wait for Mia. She's coming. She'll know what to do. Talk? Yeah, coming. Take the back door. Gawain, you coming too? You slink back into the alley behind the bar, leaving the 10 bodies and one grievously wounded ghoul behind. They'll be stopping you from circling around the block, finding your way to Sophie's car. Gregory will drive casually as it is, just as if there's just another late night drive, and not a crowning of this desperate, complicated evening. Sophie brings you to a luxury apartment in Manhattan's Upper West Side. The way she explains it, vampires who own it left the city a few years ago and gave away the keys to a few trusted conspirators, as been used in spread attic since. Fancy. You like it. It's always felt too modern for my tastes, but that's what important is it's secure. As long as nobody follows your car here, or trouble over fledgling, Trouble follows you this one wherever they go. Even if that's the case, there's little time to conduct our business here anyway. We'll be leaving soon. I hope so. Let's begin. You look at Sophie, excited, finally willing to learn what you'll be working towards for more than a week, and what is that Kaiser wants you to participate in. I have it good on authority that Bill Callahan is the bloodbound to Prince Panhard. Talk sucks for landlord. That's an accusation and a half, Langley. Got any proof? No, but we're just a boat ride away from getting it. So what's that supposed to mean? Gawain, the dress that I procured from Kaiser was the spot of Penhard and Baron's regular sharing of blood, and other bodily fluids if the rumors to be true. Wait, Kaiser knew about this? Is there anything that internal clamp of dead skin doesn't know in the city? He knows there are things, but only shares them if he's paid. Neither Prince nor Callan can touch him. He's too useful. Kaiser said saving me was in his interest. Kaiser said something about having plans for me. That he wanted to make this meeting happen. This can't be good, right? That's an interesting point. I think Kaiser might be interested in shaking up the status quo as things are. A chaotic landscape makes for a great market for him, unlike a static one. I don't like playing into that creep sand, but at least now I know what I'm doing. The devil, you know, and all that. What the address he gave you? They meet regularly on Ellis Island. In fact, the next scheduled meeting starts in just half an hour. Hot damn. I guess you wanted to crash this meeting. Why? So you can see proof yourself. So that I can make sure too. And so that I can have an extra pair of eyes for Panhard to consider when I present you my ultimatum. The prince must abandon her seat and leave New York City. She can go wherever she please, but if she stays, the entire court will know, and the next prince might look favourably on her past. Dealing with Alex, especially close, is a punishable offence by the Camarilla, as I'm sure you heard. So I did. Talk strokes his beard, looking silent intensely at Longley. What exactly are you trying to accomplish here? Say, you remove Penhard, I remove Canan, then what? Talk, did you ever wonder why Canan kept you in check? Because I wondered why the prince condemns Vanox during her visits to Elysium, but doesn't allow the Ivory Tower to challenge you? She or they have engineered the status quo not for the good of their sex, but for private gain. They keep us in line because that lets them hold on to power that much longer. And your goal is what? Make this Cold War turn hot? Not a great plan. You Camis get your butts kicked out of NC in no time. If you guys manage to organize, which I doubt you will, at any rate. At this rate, I'm willing to take. I don't stand alone in this. This entire operation has been years in the making. Talk, I'm offering you a chance to square things with the Canan and level the playing field. If we get rid of these two, we can start on equal footing, and the next stage of the dance on this dance macabre. How do I factor into this plan? Do I factor into this plan at all? Yes, we will be taking you to Elisa's Island. Both of us have another set of eyes to witness Prince and Baron in act, and a bit of added security. I don't think Helen or Karen would dare lay a finger on me, but they will not find me unprepared. You know, after all those years spent in Karen's shallow and taking part in the kindred dick measuring contest, I should expect a ruse, some kind of ploy to kill me in an out of nowhere place. That's our inherent paranoia talking, but my guy is telling me that it's time for the show to start. I do hope we have a boat nearby, Langley. Sophie smiles mischievously. Of course I do. It's waiting by the pier. Lead the way then. Moonlight's burning. The three of you leave the apartment and walk towards the pier. Nobody seems to be following you. You get a small patrol boat and double time it through the Hudson cold dark waters. Out of the place, this is in one city, the Prince and the Baron could meet, is Annesley Island, a landmark of dark past, a museum on one hand, a despoiled place of history on the other. You leave the boat and make your way to the southern part of the island, no heed of renovating tourist attractions of the north side. You expected some resistance. A night guard, a helicopter flying overhead, an NID patrol boat, nothing. The island seems completely deserted. It's clear that Sophie's on edge. She's moving quietly and subtly as ever. You can see she's eager to reach a particular house, her intel points out. Talk is following suit, grimly determined. flashing his piercing laser over, still clearly uncertain if this is some kind of con. Finally you see it. Lights coming from out of a window, one of the buildings on the edge of Ireland. The three of you slowly creep closer to a building to take a look inside the window. There is Caroline leaning in front of the prince, sucking on Prince Panard's wrist, both fully clothed, a small blessing. Torg makes his move before Sophie can stop him. He busts through the building doors. It all happens very quickly. Torg grabs Caroline by the shoulder and throws him through the still open door. Caroline hits the ground hard. Torg appears on top of him and starts punching. You fucker, you piece of shit. Stop! The prince's voice takes hold just long enough to make Torg relent, which Baron uses to his fullest. He shoves Torg off himself and tries to bite down. Prince, cool off your lapdog. Langley, what's the meaning of this? The two adults break up, both wounded, but neither of them quite done. They look at each other with pure hatred. Kill the bitch, Helena, but leave the fledgling to me. Right after I deal with the shit stain, I'm gonna... A shrill, unpleasant laugh fills the air. You know who it belongs to. So entertaining. Truly, it feels almost a shame to break up this spectacular, but alas. Thomas? Who the fuck is this joker? Ah yes, I don't think we met. Though I did hear a lot about you, Mr. Torg. My name is Thomas Aton, and Caroline uses this moment of uncertainty to strike. He's still slow for Torg, who knows the boss, who throws the boss onto the lawn where the two exchange blows once again. Helen, if I'm being so kind to ask your friend not to hurt our guests too much. Caroline, don't kill him. This time Caroline comes on top and grabs Torg in an iron hold. Your companion struggles, but can't quite break away. I will not be denied, Helen. This time mine. You will do as I command. And she will do as I command, Douglas, old boy. What? Like I was saying before I so rudely interrupted, I needed a break from this little spectacular. It was going to go on for too long. You think you're so smart, Langley. You think you and your clique figured out that there was something fishy going on all on your own, but you were always just working within a piece of the puzzle. Wasn't she, Gawain? Sophie looks at you, shocked and disappointed. What are you talking about, Angela? What am I talking about, you ask? You fledgling. You don't know. How could you? Only I knew, and your sire, of course, that they were the ones who agreed to your embrace after some negotiations. You hear a scream and a curse. It's Caroline, whose arm has been ripped from his body. Talk breaking out of the Baron's grip, but doesn't continue to attack. Instead, he's at the edge of the water. In a blink of an eye, he disappears into the Hudson. Only traces left of him is his fedora. Another actor goes off script at the very end. No matter. Let him bring us amusement now, as the production is almost wrapped up. He'll reach his allies, tell everyone of this. Helen, if we were so naively assuming his nights aren't numbered now that he's in the SI sights, the show must go on. One way or another, won't hurt to encourage leaks and speculation. Sophie looks at you. How could you, Gawain? I saved you. Arturin suddenly appears next to her and slaps her on the face. Langley. What happened to your self-esteem? You couldn't really think simply the neonate had outplayed you, or maybe obviously acted in some way of groveling at mercy. Thomas, what? You thought that being an excellent chess player would always be enough. You never realized that people at the top simply flip the chessboard over and punch you in the face whenever they don't like how the game is going. He motions to the remaining kindred. But these things, you weren't even adept at playing the game, you knew. Gawain's just another pawn, placed on the board by my associate. You thought you were a piece since you took them in, but who gave you that idea? You returned that night, when you were judged by Prince Penhard. A woman in red, Sophie, began to speak to someone, a man in glasses, a man standing before you now. This is cruel. We know what's going to happen. If only someone would speak up for a poor child, they could be a useful tool for the Camarilla. Terror creeps across Sophie's face. Of course, those are not words you heard, were they? No. You are really grasping for opportunity to further your scheme. I put a bait out and you took it hook, line and sinker. After all, it's only a matter of time before you start using Gawain in your own errand boy. No one is quite easy to track and monitor as a naive fledgling who's still learning the ropes. Is that what you want, Thomas? What do I want? Oh boy, the answer is so simple yet so hard to put in words. Unsustainable sustainability, cutting-edge tales of thrills and intrigue that push to the limits, and then they return you to the tired and tasted status quo. gently forbidding. A system of full discrete moving parts, such stimulating conflict so convincingly its user never feels the need to direct their energy towards upsetting the system. Achieving the eternal through disposable, building a city that's like a ship of Theseus, constantly changing its parts yet always maintaining the same purpose. Serving the goal all the time. A large-scale infrastructure that has something like an exhaust system for spirits. Something that diverse toxicity around instead of coursing it into a single place. None of what you're saying makes the slightest bit of sense. After a moment, he stops in his tracks. He stares out of the sky for a few seconds before sad grin appears on his face. Spoken like somebody who would never know what it had to take to make it in the big leagues. With a theatrical snap of his fingers, he gestures his last sentence to a final sense of finality. Something changes in there. You could swear you saw a shadow move behind Sophie. Goodbye, Sophie. A person appears behind Sophie. You don't believe your eyes. It's Adeline Davis, holding the garden shears in her hands. You take off and rush towards Sophie. It only takes you a few steps out before a figure blinks right in front of you, pushes you away. Artorio. You hear a shearing snip. Sophie's red hair conceals her face as her head falls, separating half her soldiers. Silence. I turn, unpleasant laughter erupts next to you. Oh, Gawain, your career is moving at a breakneck pace. Moving up and up and up. Let me congratulate you on your promotion. Are you going to kill me too? That was the plan at some point, but I've changed my heart since then. Helen, feel free to leave us and take the Baron with you. Thomas, I don't think you should... Shh. You're just being jealous, Adeline. Escort the prince and our old Douglas, please. Sure thing, darling. If she appeared from shadows, is she actually a Lasombra? You're left alone next to Sophie's body. You're trying to look hard, but it's ignoring the limp flame decomposing right in front of your eyes. Congratulations, you won this little game. Set on your suicide mission and successfully brought down a power-hungry wannabe tyrant, even if probably wasn't the way you imagined. Now you're free to enjoy paradise again, life after death, immortal and eternal youth. What they don't tell you, of course, is living in paradise is inherently sinful when not everyone is partaken. You don't have time to learn how to live with sin, do you? He takes a melancholic look at the skyline surrounding him. The Statue of Liberty, the lights of Manhattan, the shimmering in the distance. You know, New York taught me to believe in fate. My unlife began right here, and it began with utter despair. My first instinct was to drown myself in the books, and keep reading and reading until literature gave me a piece of wisdom I needed to go on. Personally, I found reading a silly hobby in retrospect. I always had a misaligned hope that the next sentence I'd read would finally bring me salvation, but it never did. It only gave me fuel to elevate righteous intellectual suffering. But the more I read, the easier it was for me to boil every paragraph down to the power relationship, the characters' influence over each other, the writers trying to impress the reader, etc. The starring everyone, the strings everyone pulls to look like strands weaving into the fabric of fate. And once I saw its beauty, I got teary-eyed. My architect instincts kicked in to overdrive. I didn't have to submit to fate. All I had to do was cooperate with it and wait for my time to shine and give my input whenever needed until it trusted me to do more. Thomas steps over what's left of Sophie, wiping his glasses with an elegant cloth from his pocket. And it indeed, fate let me overlook the city. With my architect's tools, I started quietly shaping the streets and corridors, while Kaiser and his ilk shaped the information flow. And among the many tools of his process gave me, one of them was always reliably come to useful agents like you. The methods I used was cruel, but the route was here. All you had to do was follow it. Some people write rulebooks, passages, others plan city or arteries. In the end, the effects are the same. Someone always follows. He puts his glasses and gives you a hard, long look. You know, I've grown fond of you. You did well. Even when that little idiot Conan tipped the Inquisition off, you still got out. I like that kind of resourcefulness. I could use that kind of resourcefulness. He uncovers his wrist. So take in my blood, just long enough so that we can start off on the right foot. A sign of good faith. A sign that you're ready to play in the big leagues. Ready to behold the sight that I've prepared for you. What do you say, Gawain? Well, that was an abrupt end. What? No final choice? Did I do something wrong? I don't know. Hang on. You won't see this. I'm just looking at it. Hang on. I'm looking at achievements because there's an ending. There's ending achievements. Hang on, let me look up achievement guide because I don't know what ending I got. I know there's multiple endings. Yeah, no, that is the ending. I'm just shocked by that. Like, I'm legitimately shocked. Like, I'm just, I don't know what to say. I have issues with this game. Like, all the stories end way too early. Like, hold on, they're clipped off way too early. And we do not give enough chance to explore. I'm fine with the, like, scheming ending. I'd rather there's just a final choice. Like, we learned about the library. We could have, like, tried to delaborize them or fight back and die. I would want something of that. I'd want, like, some substance. I would still like it to be dark, but, like, we forsake our humanity to defeat him. We try and fight back. We die. We accept the deal. Those are the three choices I'd give at the end. But that wasn't. I think more choices could have been added to progress it. More time could be focused on certain characters' stories, because they all felt like they ended abruptly. And more time could have been spent with the Coterie. It's called Coteries for New York, but we barely spent time with the Coterie, our own Coterie. Like, a lot of Coteries are just hanging around, talking and role-playing, and I get how it's hard to play in a game like this, but it would make the experience more if we actually felt more like we were a group of people who have unique interactions. But that was the game. Next, on Thursday, we're going to start up Shadows of New York, which I own, so we'll be doing that. Until next time, I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and goodbye. Oops. Goodbye.